Do it as we fade up on the. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Deadlights Dave, and this is the FFOP Halloween special. Welcome, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? First off, before we get too deep into it, I would like to get confirmation we can hear out of what looks like this mic. When I tap this, you hear that? Because that means we're on the right mic. Technical issues abound here. It's Halloween, everybody. Thanks for showing up.
It's your first show on the road.
First show on the road. First ever Halloween special, but we know we're waiting.
And you're out of the studio.
First one's a little rough.
Yeah.
So can everybody hear us okay? Have we gotten confirmation? Because I don't want to wake up tomorrow after a whole show.
Kayla says, we can hear you, Deadlights.
Nice. Okay. You're off again. Okay. So,
Thank you, Deadlights.
welcome everybody to the show. My name is Dave, Deadlights Dave. This is our Halloween special. Let me introduce you to our co-host, co-ghost, horror host for the show. We have one, Mr. Dr. Dreamscape on the show.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. And of course, welcome Dr. Dreamscape to the show.
Dave. It's a pleasure to be here.
I hope everybody is appreciative of the fact that this is a haunted ass house. We've got, maybe you can see it, but there's a jack-o'-lantern down here that's pretty spooky. We got a skeleton down there. That's Trung, by the way.
Yeah, we have spooky things here.
Spooky. So, also running the boards and serving the drinks, Dolly Dread. You'll be seeing her throughout the program. Who knows when, but let's roll right into it. So, it's pretty exciting. Halloween special.
I know I'm excited.
So, Dr. Dreamscape, I got some stuff here for you. You know why vampires are attracted to divas and drama queens?
No, Dave, why?
Because they're so vain. How's the special going, everybody?
Okay, more wine, please. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we have drinks. I want to... Oh,
Thank you. I want to thank Dolly
Jesus.
for
My
bringing
straw.
the Chianti.
Okay, guys. So, spooky.
I just wanted to... Are you feeling all right? I mean,
It's,
you don't look great.
It's been a rough week.
Yeah.
Let's say it's been a rough week. It's been a rough month, year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
taking its toll.
there's things that might clear that right up. You don't know.
I've tried various topical creams and ointments. There was a salve that I was recommended.
Oh, yeah. I've met Salve. He's a good guy.
Does a good. Obviously, it hasn't been working out so good.
No.
But guess what, Dr. Dreamscape?
I
I got a
don't
question
know,
for you.
Dave.
I've got a question for you.
Deadlights, Dave, please tell me.
Why do ghosts make terrible liars?
I give up, Deadlights. Why?
Well,
do ghosts make terrible liars?
there's only one reason, Dr. Dreamscape, and that is because you can see right through them. Also, before we go any further, and these are all like...
Can I change my drink order to something
little
stronger?
stronger?
Because
Got myself a Hellhound, I'm calling it. A Hellhound. We got some Chianti. But I would like to point out that all of our puns have been crafted by our chief summarizing something or other. I don't remember what he called Kayla, but Mod Kayla. Mod Kayla would also like to know this. What does a vampire take for a bad cold?
I don't know, Deadlights.
Coffin drops. Moving right along. So Dr. Dreamscape, tell me, what is your favorite part? Yeah, what is your favorite part of Halloween?
My favorite part of Halloween?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know this was part of the test.
There's so much.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the decorations. It's the decor.
If you're smart though, you keep it up all year round.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: if Christmas can get 4 solid months of bullshit and music and wreaths and cinnamons and pine cones
don't even
and
get me
shit,
started about that. Oh yeah, no, yeah. I'm good with spooky lighting. I'm good with keeping up some,
maybe things were different before I died, but nowadays, if you walk into a store, it'll be like October 15th, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, all our Halloween stuff's over there on clearance. You want some Christmas bullshit?"
I know.
And I always say no, because that's maybe Halloween needs a smell. Is that its problem?
Yeah,
Christmas
there should be
has smells.
Yeah, there's a scent. Actually, I'm pretty sure that we have some scented candles for that.
But what smells are we running
Death,
for a Halloween?
mostly death,
Oh,
yeah,
well, it's like having a dead mouse in your kitchen. I don't want to smell that. They need a
Well,
good smell.
okay, so they make some more fragrant shit, like
we need
like the occasional. I don't know. I mean, if you really want the smell of burning leaves
Snickers
in the house over dead mouse, fine. I guess that's just. Your
I
thing.
just take like candy. Like let's say
Alright,
because
You're a weird guy though, Dave. I don't know.
If
about
you look
that.
at all these lesser holidays, your Christmases, your Thanksgiving, your Valentine's Days, your all that bullshit. Most of them have smells. Like when you think of Valentine's Day, you obviously think of those horrifyingly disgusting, chalky, like Necco hearts. Oh God!
Are we
Good
getting
news.
a call?
I have a
Is it
special guest
from the netherworld.
We have a special guest calling in. This is holy shit. Here we go. Hold on, caller. You're on the air.
Hello, it's me.
Oh, it's the Crypt Keeper.
Oh, I love the Crypt Keeper.
I can't believe he called us on our Halloween special.
I heard you were being good at boils and ghouls.
Well, thank you, Crypt Keeper. How is Halloween finding you? Thank you for calling.
It's wonderful. I'm having a rager.
You're having a Ranger. I thought you said a Ranger.
Yeah. I'm like, you're having a truck?
You just bought a Ford Ranger.
On a Ford Ranger for Halloween. Trick or treat.
Okay, so Crypt Keeper, it's been a while since you've been on the air. I mean, HBO kicked your ass to the curb, 20, 30 years ago. What is happening this
He's
Halloween?
had a movie or two since then.
This
So
Halloween,
okay.
I'm a place where COVID can't reach me. New Zealand.
So there's no COVID in New Zealand, Crypt Keeper?
Nope, it's all gone.
You sound kind of like the Crypt Keeper's mom.
Can't sound like a parrot.
All right, so Crypt Keeper, obviously you're in New Zealand. What sort of festivities we got down
under.
down under you always think of Australia, but I guess New Zealand.
Down under the ground.
Mm-hmm.
In New Zealand for Halloween, we celebrate Bilbo's 111th birthday.
He's 111. I can't believe it. And he was born on Halloween. I also can't believe that.
J.R. Tolkien, he planned it all out.
Crypt Keeper, did you get to meet Sir Connery today?
Oh yeah.
Who?
Connery, he's dead. Did you see him? Did he end up?
I did see him. He asked if I was a woman, and when I said yes, he punched me.
Oh my God! Did he think you were Barbara Walters?
He did.
Holy shit. He is gone, man. Well, obviously he's very gone. R.I.P. One love, Sean Connery. Not a Halloween guy, but he's dead, so we'll make a mention.
The pour went out for him. Oh, I shouldn't do that right here.
Pour it all on the ground.
All right, Crypt Keeper. Well, thanks for calling into this Halloween special. Probably the biggest guest we're gonna get.
Yeah, I really
appreciate
it. I want you to know that next time you're in town, I think we should get married and play the Newly Dead game.
Yeah. Okay. So, Dr. Dreamscape has plans for marriage and newlywed games.
Okay then. I agree.
All right. Thanks for calling, Crypt Keeper. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. I made it scarier with hell.
Bye, Crypt Keeper.
Bye.
Oh, what a delightful, I've known that guy for years, Crypt Keeper.
Wow.
And,
I'm engaged, so that's a thing.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. Taking a phone call in the air is incredibly unprofessional. But when you get the Crypt Keeper says he's going to call in, I say, all right, I'll keep it on the chair. So anyway, about Halloween. The smells of Halloween.
Yeah.
Why not candy? Why not something?
Have you smelled candy corn?
No, not candy corn. You would want, if you could get and I guarantee you can, because they can make candles smell like anyone. If you went to a custom candle store and sent them a sniff swatch of your balls, they could match it.
Wow.
They're like the bare
This is good to know.
paint of candles, probably
Well,
Yankee
now that you
candles.
mention it, I mean, there's guys out there who do candles that are scented like certain portions of the park of Disneyland. So
yeah.
why don't we have a candle that's scented like Walt Disney himself?
Well, like Old Spice? But we could do a candle that smells like everybody knows the smell.
Whatever the tank shit.
The
Now I can't
cryogenic
think.
frozen.
Yes,
yeah.
thank you for filling in exactly what I was thinking.
That
Cryogenic,
frozen
yes.
goo that he's
frozen.
that he's hanging out in.
Cryogenic goo.
I wouldn't put a smell in that if I were them, because that's just money down the toilet. But
You asked for suggestions. I'm here. All
here,
right?
here's I got my own suggestion. So
I'm pitching them and you're missing them.
everybody knows this. Dr. Dreamscape.
Yes, Dave.
When you carve up yourself a nice pumpkin, you put your little candle in there. 100 times out of 100, before that candle goes out, some kid is going to go pop that baby open and smell it. And the smell of candle-cooked pumpkin, I'm going to tell you, not shitty.
All right.
So if we could get like a cooked pumpkin candle in stores, that would probably stave off Christmas for 3-4 days.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Fuck you, Santa.
Be a nice change.
I think here's the thing. If we could get some sort of spooky monster to deliver presents, Halloween, Christmas would be.
Why can't the Krampus come early?
Here's the thing about like fictional deities. They're a real bitch about their schedule.
So now we're splitting hairs. We've gone from.
Well, but think of it this way: fiction. Like
I'm talking to a dead guy,
right? But
and suddenly we're talking about fictional deities.
Let's say the Great Pumpkin from Charlie Brown. You think he's popping up out of that fucking place
I never
in
believed
Thanksgiving?
In the Great Pumpkin. I never saw the guy.
I'm almost positive.
I think Linus is full of shit.
I don't think he exists. I've seen Garfield and I've seen him get entangled with ghost pirates. However, Charlie Brown, it was Snoopy.
No.
Motherfucker. Anywho, let me look at my cards here. Oh, yeah. So when, you in the typing square can answer too. In, real life, when you're out, picking up coffins, rats, rat poison, arsenic, etc. What
my regular daily routine.
Yeah. So when you're out in real life, spooky real life,
with a mask on,
right. We are probably 6 feet away face wise.
Yeah. So we're doing okay.
But
good news is he's already dead.
Yeah, that's the thing. Once you go bad, it's not like you can go worse.
I don't know. You don't smell good.
Well, yeah, that's the one thing that will get worse. So yeah, after you die, one thing definitely does get worse.
No, yeah.
And
one thing's for sure, I won't smell so good.
But at this point, why don't we have something again? Have a Halloween scented embalming fluid. You die, I want to smell like a roasted jack-o'-lantern.
No, I think that's very considerate of anybody who's in the church.
Yeah, God made pumpkins according to them, and if you smell it, you'd be like, oh yeah, there's God, right? Jesus Christ, everybody. Okay, so anyway, my question was, when you're out in the real world,
yes,
what is the first thing that tips you off? Like maybe you don't realize, you don't look at the calendar, it's not October 1st in your mind. What in the world makes you be like, Halloween? Something.
Well,
there's always something.
Currently, Dave, I don't know if you're aware of this.
I might be.
I don't know if you float through the ether on a regular basis.
Ethereal plane is
fucking, frank with you about it. I don't even know how you got in my house. All right? I'm not saying I'm not glad you're here, but I don't know how you got in.
Here, I'll lay it out for you. Since there are two things.
I think we're off on a tangent, but that's all right. Go for it.
There are two things in life. There are your Caspers, and then there are your cans of Pepsi. So your Caspers, they can pick up the can of Pepsi. However, they cannot move straight through the fridge, taking the Pepsi with them.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is my Pepsi is outside. Can you get it?
No.
I could not bring it in because it's incorporeal.
Yeah, sorry.
See, this is inside the house. This is inside the house. I can move it all I want.
I feel like
Through
I
a
totally
door.
forgot where your question started on this.
No, that's it.
No, all right.
There are two types of people. There's Caspers and there's Pepsis. I want you to treat me like a Casper
Listen,
and not
if
one
you
of
want
these
me to get up
Pepsis.
and go get your Pepsi, it's just you on camera.
It's going to be warm as shit by now. It's Arizona. It's a lost cause.
Oh, that's where we were going with that. So you were asking what says...
Oh, yeah, Halloween.
What says Halloween. And we live in Arizona, so I can't start with the leaves.
Right. That's the thing. That's what's tricky. That's what's tricky about this question is you're not going to know it's fall.
I'm going to go with it has a lot to do with the lighting on the tombstones, especially at night.
Okay, so like when the shadows get a little longer.
Yes, yeah, and when the sun's going down earlier and the tombstones are just...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So good. Now, that being said, I don't know what I was going to say.
For me, here's was my big, like, it's 2020 and now it's time for fucking Halloween. So I said, time to buy some Halloween shit. And you go...
That's true. You know what? That's how I tell.
Yeah, well, here,
No,
but
no,
here's...
no, let me finish.
Okay.
That's how I tell. I can always tell it's time for Halloween because I just walk into Michael's.
And you, yeah. Well, I went in not knowing, not thinking ahead.
Right.
And so I saw
I'm still trying to figure out how you got in.
When you see, well, you just float in. Like I'm saying, I'm a Casper. You're not getting that point. So I float in.
But how do you set off the doors?
You float through.
All right.
Caspers, typing square. Have I made my point at least? Pepsi corporeal.
Right.
Casper, here I am.
All right.
No, here's how I knew. Because it was October 2nd. I was like, oh, Halloween's coming up. I can tell because at the very end of the Target, there's an orange aisle. Boy, oh boy, did I sprint down there. Oh, God, Halloween is coming. Wind rushing past my face. Four things? 3 empty aisles.
Yeah,
One aisle
that's
had
true.
some shit in it, and I mean that literally. Somebody took a shit.
I'm going to your Target from now
What
on.
a fucked up Halloween this has been. More horror.
True. The good news is whether or not they were wearing a mask when they took a dump on the floor.
The mask was, the dump was wearing a mask. And it had a little, it had, you know those like little toothpicks they'll stick in your burger at fancy restaurants? Had one of those, except it was a little biohazard flag. I thought, well,
Biohazard.
yeah. I mean, if you're gonna shit
Like
in the floor,
band or...
yeah, the band, the game, and the actual hazard.
All right. Wow.
So Scott,
Yes,
I mean,
Dave.
Doctor Dreadful, shit,
Dreamscape.
Doctor Dreamscape, Doctor Dreamscape.
How the
Please,
fuck did you get in my house?
can you tell me? Can you tell me why or how this house is haunted? I've been telling people we've been headed for a haunted house
All right.
for a month now. Have I been lying to people?
No.
I felt the presence.
Yes.
But when I turned around, it was you when we were in the bathroom.
Right.
So, is there a ghost?
Sorry, yeah. I don't know who got in there first, to be honest with you. Why is the house haunted, or how is the house haunted? Is that what you're asking?
Well, why I feel like every dumbass knows ghosts have unfinished business. They want to hang around. So why I got
Right.
how?
Are you asking for the story, Dave? Is it story time, Dave?
I don't know if it's a story time.
Okay, all right.
Because that's not in my notes for a little while. I
Okay,
just thought,
just checking. I didn't
what's
know.
up with all these ghosts in your house?
Well, Dave,
Was there a glass eating contest in the basement?
you're not far off.
Fiberglass eating competition? That would be a lot easier.
You've got to remember that this is an older house.
True.
This is a mid-century home, so
Which
it
century?
this is clearly mid-20th century house.
When I walked
it was
in.
not a glass eating contest, but it was asbestos.
Oh,
And,
see?
yeah. So it didn't all happen at once, but it did happen
Here's
here.
Ooh, yeah. Imagine a nice family of 4, 5, 6 sitting around the table for a nice helping of asbestos. But they did it, and now
what's
they're
the presentation
haunting.
on something like that? I mean, do you serve it with
You know,
horse divorce?
Listen. I'm a sucker for the classics.
Yeah.
So I would say, you know how when
Turkey, right?
yes, exactly. I'm saying Wile E. Coyote takes a large stick of dynamite and 2 small sticks of dynamite and makes himself a turkey explosion.
Yeah.
I say we do that with asbestos.
Yeah. I think that was done with asbestos.
There you go.
Yeah. Now you know the
Problem
story.
solved.
Right.
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
All right.
I was kicking around.
I'm all ears.
I was. But that's not even a pun.
I know.
Doctor.
Dreamscape.
So, Dr. Dreamscape. Doctor, no! Oh, here's another quick story. Right down the street from where I live, there was a dentist. And for the first 10 years I knew of this dentist, his name was Dr. Please. Dr. Please. So I thought, Dr. Please! Every time I would walk by, ride by, float by, drive by. And something interesting has happened this year. He got a new sign, but something happened. There was no L. He might have been Dr. Pease this entire time.
My God.
But he also might be Dr. Please and insanely fucking pissed right now. So here's the thing. I don't know. What was I going with? Oh, here's the thing.
That's a good
Back
question.
in the old days, if you wanted to kill someone, let's say 1800s, late 1700s, early 1800s, 9 times out of 10, you were doing it with arsenic because it was in literally everything, including baby formula.
Along with the cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was coke, hemp, cannabinoids, whatever.
Yeah.
And I can't believe any of us made it out of the 17 or 1800s.
No, it's kind of amazing.
I mean, I didn't, obviously.
Yeah. I like that middle-aged was 15.
Well, you had so much to look forward to. By the time you were
that's
30,
true.
you had your
That's true.
hemorrhoids and shit.
Oh, yeah. Piles. They called it piles.
Piles, yeah. Watch out for Trung. You don't want to knock over our little buddy
sorry,
there.
What do we call him?
Trung. That's Trung.
Trung.
We flew in his bones because the whole thing would have cost too much. So there's Trung
Oh, God. Where's the rest of him?
in a bucket in somewhere in Texas.
All right. Well, at least it's not New Zealand.
No, thank God. The
Yeah.
Crypt Keeper would have him for soup.
Right. Yeah, we don't want that.
Anyway, moral of the story is, murders were really low tech, is what I'm going to get at, because I've been watching a lot of true
What was that
crimes.
in guns?
So
or knives.
right,
Yeah.
the ones that I'm seeing. So I'm
Or
a follower.
candlesticks or ropes. Wait, I'm just thinking of Clue.
Right, yeah,
Never
I
mind.
think that was Milton Bradley. You're thinking of that murder. But here's how you would
Did
commit.
you know? How old are you? I mean, how long have you been a ghost? Did you know Milton Bradley? Do you go that far back?
Yeah, here's the thing. When you know Milton Bradley and he
Which you
says,
do.
and he says, here's a new game, I'm calling it Life. And you look at it and you say, Milton,
I'm
this is-
dead.
Milton, not only am I dead, but this is just a checkerboard, you lazy fuck.
Right?
Like, where's the spinning wheel? 400 years later, the spinning wheel showed up. What the fuck?
Wait. How old is Milton Bradley? How long have you been around? That shirt is not 1500s. Come on.
Well, no, I didn't buy this in the 1500s. I died in the 1700s.
I think you're full of shit.
Uh-oh.
It's that time.
I don't know if
Ladies
that's
and gentlemen,
picking up on mics.
it is not the witching hour.
It's 7. Scary. I don't know.
That clock might be older than you.
I'm going to say my ETA was roughly 1637.
All right, so that you're older than the clock. That's fine.
Yeah.
Hey,
I,
The good
So-
news is the clock's working better than you.
grease. That's all it takes. More grease, the better. What do we got, Dolly?
In the typing square, Kayla says, "You've made your Casper point so strong, it's a corporal stake driven straight through the non-corporeal heart of the friendly ghost." We've got Alexis in here. We've got
Do we have Alexis, Texas?
Alexis Johnson.
Oh.
We've got Christopher McLaughlin in the
Do we have
chat.
Christopher Maloney?
Hey, Chris is here.
I
Nice.
wish we had.
Oh yeah, let's
Christopher
say
Maloney.
hello to our typing square. Obviously,
Yeah.
been rolling for a while. People have finally
Hello,
filtered
typing
in.
square.
Hello, typing square.
Good evening. Hello. Christopher, are you with us?
I once found a thumbtack in a sandwich I ate.
Kayla's first clues of Halloween coming is seeing the spirit stores start to pop up.
Yes.
And then my mother said is when we live back home, all the leaves changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing: when you live in Arizona, you have 1.1 seasons. Because I shit you not, I'm a ghost. I wouldn't lie.
Yeah.
I shit you not. Monday this week, 108 degrees. Tuesday, 67. What the fuck's up with that? I don't know. Shit's fucked here in Arizona. It's like hell, except without Dante.
Actually, yeah, I mean, I've got the illustrations downstairs if you want to see them.
Oh, I've got tons of Doré. Don't you worry
yeah.
about me and
Oh,
Doré.
hey, man. Let's raise a glass to Doré.
Gustav,
Yeah. Whew.
good night, sweet prince. Also, Mr. Alighieri died 500 years before that.
Indeed.
Virgil, even before that, but let's be real.
Have you
Who
ever
read
read
the
the-
Aeneid?
Right?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid. You read the Odyssey, you read Dante's Inferno. If you want to get bored, you go beyond into Purgatory, and you're like, wait, this was a fucking terrible idea. But Dr. Dreamscape, since the clock went off and we ran a little long, I've got an ad for you to read
Yes,
for one of our
please.
sponsors,
All
please.
This portion of the show has been brought to you by Granny Alucard's Garlic Substitute. When you want the full aroma and flavor of garlic, but none of the messy side effects.
Diarrhea.
Right? Excuse me, sir.
Sorry. This is a sponsor.
This is recommended by 4 out of 5 vampires. That's right. Granny Alucard's Garlic Substitutes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice read. Thank you, Granny Alucard.
Hey, that's why I'm here.
Granny Alucard. So, Dr.
Dreamscape, yes. Deadlights Dave.
Dr. Dreamscape.
Did you know it personally?
It's not a person, place, or thing you want to go to a party with. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but I mean, he can take on so many forms.
Right. But he's a dick. Like, if you want to listen, if you want to hang out with a cosmic entity and we're going to keep it to Dairy, Maine. Tell it to go eat shit, pound sand, or whatever. Hang out with that fucking space turtle in the sewer. That guy, he knows how to fucking party.
Okay.
Also, he reminds me of The Never-Ending Story.
Falcor.
Except he's just sitting there. He's a turtle. And there's no cool dragon. So I guess it's nothing like...
You're giving me flashbacks, man. I'm just thinking of the horse drowning. Stop.
That was a scary, sad time to be a horse.
When we needed therapy at age 8 because of Never-Ending Story.
Not only that, here's a spooky tidbit for you. In the book, the horse is like not only sentient, but can communicate with... what's his nuts? What's his name?
You read this in German?
No, it's filtered through the centuries.
Oh, sure.
What's his name? Fucking not the kid's name. Albasaur, Albacross.
The kids.
You've seen the fucking movie,
Yes,
right? Why are you letting
I know,
me
you're
sit
throwing
here?
me- I know.
What's his name, Scott?
I know. All right.
What's his name?
So
What's his name?
So
Not
the kid who owns
Bastian.
The horse? No,
Yeah.
it's Bastion and shit, man. I don't fucking know. You want me to Google this?
Does
shit?
the typing square know who it's the main character of the movie?
No, the main character is Bastion.
No, he's a dick. He's a guy reading a fucking book up in a what's his nuts is doing
he has
all
imagination, Dave.
somebody.
Atreyu. Thank you.
Fucking shit
There's
ass
even a
dicks.
band named after that.
Yes. Anyway, and here's the button to that long train of bullshit. So his horse, the sad horse, and Atreyu have a conversation where the horse basically is pleading for Atreyu to let him die.
Wow.
He's like, I can't take it anymore.
No.
Nothing is coming.
That's
Let me
worse.
drown. And imagine, like,
No,
seeing
they should have put that in the movie.
seeing a horse. Oh, yeah, just all of a sudden, like, no voice from horse until he's this deep in the mud, and then he's like, Atreyu, and he's like, oh my god, you can talk.
You can talk.
The fuck, Atreyu. I knew it started with an A. Albacore was my closest guess.
Right. Yeah. Ooh.
Anywho,
What was the name of the horse?
Fistula. Prolapse. What was his name?
No, it was totally Prolapse. Yeah.
Gary.
Gary.
Hoofster.
Gary.
Yeah, he was yelling at him. He says, Phil!
I
Phil!
don't think that was it.
Atreyu! He says back.
Artax. Thank you.
Yeah, see, I can give a fuck about Artax. He doesn't mean shit. Atreyu is the main gas character.
All right.
So, Dr.
Dreamscape.
Why?
Yes, Dave.
Why?
Why?
Why is it that witches fly on brooms at night?
I don't know, Dave. Why is it that witches fly on brooms at night?
I don't know how you're going to take this one, but it helps them go to sweep.
We need a drummer in here.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. Or at the
oh.
very least, stronger drinks.
We're halfway done. Let's see. So, yeah. Helps them go to sweep.
Ooh.
Would it be more like I've got a pen here? I'm not gonna fucking write anything. But would it? But all good hosts have like pens and shit.
Yeah,
would it
yeah.
be
You wanna
better
make it
if I
look
was
like
like, woo?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that instead. So now when I have no more note cards, you'll know the show is over. Dr. Dreamscape. What?
Yes, Dave.
What do little monsters do after school?
I don't know, Dave.
This is a stretch. I'm not gonna lie. This is a stretch. Before I tell you what they do after school, I have to preface this by saying I personally don't find these people to be monsters, but
What do little monsters do after school, Dave? Just tell me.
they're gnome work. Oh. Boom! Oh no, it's there too!
Wait.
Okay, this one's fine.
All right.
Trung got the other one.
I thought it was Trumbull.
Dr. Dreamscape, I've got
Yes.
another question.
Oh, God.
What?
Are you trying to kill me?
It's Halloween. What do vegetarian zombies eat? Vegetarian zombies.
I know this one, but I'm going to let you answer it.
Do you?
Yeah.
So we say it at the same time?
No. It's killing me already.
That makes me feel like you don't know. This might be a good one. Carrots. Carrots? Just kidding. It's grains. Grains.
Grains.
So
Yes.
here's what every good Halloween special has. If they are worth their salt.
So you're saying this isn't included in ours?
No, we've got it. It's on the card. So
What?
Here we are as horror hosts. I sort of represent the new school horror, the 70s slashers.
Which is odd considering you're dead and I'm not.
Maulers. Well, yeah, but taste doesn't necessarily come with an age.
That's true.
So we've got...
You've seen The Exorcist about 167 times.
And it keeps getting
better
funnier every single
time.
time I say it. Nice fucking model, by the way, too. But
Yes.
every Halloween special has a top something.
Yes.
We've got a top 5 list.
Are you
right
saying
here.
we're going to do that too?
We do.
And
we
are
are.
you possibly, are you just possibly saying that you're going to do the new school and I'm going to do the old school?
If I had to guess, like if this were a horse, and I had $2, and this was 1922, and I'm about to. This is also a true story. Let's say it's 1922, and I've got the last $2 to my name.
Right.
And I go to the track.
Sure.
Which horse am I betting
$2
on?
is a lot of money in 1922, but that's fair.
So I'm saying it was a rough day.
Yeah.
It ended in my murder. So we'll tell that story maybe another time.
Jesus.
But we've got the top 5.
To think how old you were in 1922.
Yeah, because I was. What did I say earlier? I was born in 1638.
Well, yeah.
Well, listen. If you want to sit down and
At
really
least I'm
hash
paying
it
attention
out,
to how old you are.
I paid attention. It's just there's a lot of backstory there. There's a lot of forbidden tomes. There's a lot of ancient spices from distant Oriental lands and stuff.
As you do.
Yeah, I had a good run. I'm not gonna lie. I had a good run, but 1922, man, it fucked me up.
Yeah.
So we're doing the top 5 scary movies, horror movies, Halloween movies.
Sure.
It's a pretty loose.
Are we gonna go back and
scary.
forth? Or are you gonna do all yours first?
We'll probably ping pong back and forth.
I like
that's
it.
a nice, like a Dagwood of the new and the old.
No, I love it. Should I get
So-
a paddle or?
Hit me first while I take a drink
right.
of this Bloodhound.
Yeah, do
Blood,
that.
Gray, Hellhound.
Right. So for me, the top 5 classic era horror
Give
movies.
me one. Here's the thing. I'm gonna also tell you that I put mine in no particular order.
Fair.
So
Okay.
if you're saying that shouldn't be number 1,
No,
it
no,
might
no.
not be
I'm cool. I'm with you. Yeah, it's just my
For the
top
viewers.
5. That's just my top 5.
for the fam.
So we're starting, for me, I'm just going to, right out of the gates, we're going to go with 1934's The Black Cat.
Okay,
With Bela
classic.
Lugosi and Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff. So for those not in the know, the high points of that.
This is a movie that was made, it's 1930s, so it's still considered pre-code, which means they can get away with a lot of shit back in
Nip
the day.
slips.
Yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We can still talk about drugs. We can still talk about sex. We can still talk about skinning a man alive.
You can see, isn't it? Here's the thing
Yeah.
about video technology and film, etc. You can now burn it to someone who's been dead for years.
Yeah. I don't
Anywho, if you wanted to, I'm not saying I do, but if you
No.
wanted to, there's access.
Right. So, yeah, and The Black Cat is definitely one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
It is a good one.
Yeah. So you've seen it.
Yeah, because several hundred years ago, I think you burned me a copy on an ancient DVD.
Ah, yes, of course. I remember the day.
And I put it in my haunted Xbox.
So, yeah, it takes almost title alone from Edgar Allan Poe's.
Yeah, that's there's no.
But
there's
beyond
no
that,
real-
it is a tale of revenge
It's
and
good.
murder. It's very pulpy.
Yeah.
And then on top of everything else, on top of all the awesomeness that I've already mentioned, throw Satanism into the mix.
Satan,
Yeah.
my hero. But also, let's not walk past this. Is it's another classic
Or
where
float
we've
past.
float. Yeah, if you're a Casper and not a Pepsi, fucking Pepsi over here. This
Sorry,
dude.
man. I've got wine in here, not out there.
Anywho, fucking Pepsi over here. Anyway, Pepsi is not sponsoring the show. I forgot where I was going. Anyway, yeah. I think it's a
That
great
would be
example.
Grandma Alucard's garlic.
Not
what was-
Pepsi.
No.
Garlic substitute.
Garlic substitute. Grandma
I
Alucard.
threw the card. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. But yeah, I think seeing Bela
Dave, I wanna
Lugosi
read it
and
again.
Karloff together in one movie.
Well, actually, I mean, Karloff and Lugosi do quite a few number of few films
But,
together. But
yeah.
that being said, I do feel that this is their best.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
They both
Bela's,
play.
Bela's performance in particular, he actually plays mostly a good guy. I mean, it's technically two damned characters. who
Right,
both-
they're playing real characters
Yeah.
though. They're not monsters. They're two dudes who hate each other.
right.
And it's not
and can play off against each other.
right.
Yeah.
It's like when you see Frankenstein versus Dracula, you know someone's going to get punched or whatever. But if you see Karloff versus Lugosi,
No, it's all battles of the mind.
It's up here.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
it's great stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. So
Yes.
my top 5 starts in no particular order with my favorite Friday the 13th movie.
Okay.
Everybody loves to jump on part 4 and part 6.
Right.
Sorry about it. You're wrong. You're wrong, everybody. Because part 7 is where we really hit our stride.
Is that the one with the sleeping bag?
This part 7 is the one with the psychic little girl.
Okay. But
So-
no, I don't mean like major plot point is the
Right.
sleeping bag.
I think 6 was the sleeping bag.
All right.
Here's the thing. You've seen one meat puppet get smashed this way or that. It's hard to remember which. Because
Right.
let's be real. There's 11 of these fucking movies.
Right. And there's a lot of killing.
Yeah. And if you want to get technical, he also pulled the sleeping bag shit again in Jason X.
True.
But it was girl on girl action, not girl on tree. Anywho, yeah, Friday the 13th, part 7. Friday the 13th, part 7.
All right.
Jason
I'm
shows
picking
up.
up what you're putting down. Tell me about it.
Here's the beauty of it. We've got a psychic little girl.
All right.
Little. She's 30. And her therapist is, I don't know why. So here's what people thought of in the, what was this? Probably 1980 something. They were like, hey, I am.
Some of us wrote this shit down. All right.
It was the 80s. It doesn't matter. If it were the 90s, I would give a shit. However, it was the 80s, and this psychic little girl who has been traumatized this, that, and the other way, her brilliant doctor, he says, you know what we should do? This therapy, it's whatever, but hanging out at a camp? Guess what? Pack your bags. And then we get to see a psychic girl with telekinesis fight Jason.
Wow.
She smashes his head with a light. He falls through the staircase. His mask blows off his face. And the whole time, the old, I don't know why they just cut out the fucking therapist, because we don't need an old guy in a fucking Cosby sweater being like, you learn anything
Why
about
don't you
being
just-
not crazy?
I mean, just get Donald Pleasance. He's in all the other movies.
He was too busy fighting Michael Myers at the time. They put a call in, and he's like,
No, I'm sorry.
my
I'm busy
secretary
right now.
said,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like,
That guy in the Shatner mask. I got to take care
yeah.
of that.
I think the call happened right before the hospital blew up in number 2.
I think you're right.
I was on the phone with him because
It's
I
been a
worked on part 7. That's why I love it so much. So I
Yeah.
got on the landline phone. I said, Donald, guess what? I need you to be in
I
a
don't
movie.
know. What is it you want to tell me, Dave?
And he goes, ah! And that's when the fire happened. So all I heard was a scream. But my hopes are still high. He'll get back to
You
me
know
someday.
what they say. You only live twice, Mr. Bond.
Kayla says the best Friday the 13th movie is part 10, and any other opinions are wrong.
Is that Jason X? Is
Yeah.
that what that is? Okay.
Listen, I appreciate that as a moderator, but sorry, no, it's not. Jason X is fine if you here's what Jason 7 versus Jason X.
That's not the one in space, is it?
It is.
It is?
It is the one in space. With
Okay,
the
so all I know about that
fake
one is I've
nipples.
only seen chunks of, no pun intended, I've only seen chunks of Jason X, and one of the scenes that I saw I thought was pretty brilliant, where he puts somebody's face into
Yes.
liquid nitrogen
His
and then
first-
smashes their face.
First kill in space. So here's the thing. Let's talk about Jason X for just a minute. Jason X is incredible because we go to space, and so the jump from 4 to 6.
All right.
From 1 to 4, Jason's just a normal dude who ages incredibly quickly and is also retarded. Then he dies.
Right.
5 comes along. Some dude who works as a ambulance driver witnesses or shows up to his son who got murdered by an axe-wielding maniac at a mental health facility. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Long story short, the blue chevrons are a fake Jason. There is no Jason in number 5. So
Oh, right.
Jason 6 comes back and
The
does,
owls are not what they seem.
but he does this brilliantly. They say, well, no one's coming back for not Jason. Nobody wants a 50-year-old dude running around killing kids, somehow with still all the strength of Jason.
Right.
But so 6 is where it gets popping because Tommy Jarvis shows up with Kolchak from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Wait, what?
What's his name? The guy who's not Travolta.
Terry.
Horshack.
Telly
Horshack.
Savalas. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
not Telly Savalas, the other guy. Anywho, so Tommy Jarvis shows up with Rorschach, and he goes, "Why are we here, man?" And he's like, "I'm gonna fucking, I don't know, honestly." So he grabs a rod after they dig Jason up, and he stabs him a whole bunch. And guess what rods always do? They attract lightning, and what does lightning do? It brings fucking monsters back to life. So by 6, he's supernatural. By 10, he's Godzilla.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 10, fine if you like biting into a large wedge of cheddar cheese.
As compared to 6, which is
7, which
7.
is a cheeseburger. There's meat there. There's meat there. It's a McDonald's cheeseburger, so there's not a lot of meat there, but there is some meat there.
fair.
What do you got? What else you got on your list?
What's next on my list?
Let's hear it.
Why, it would be the 1931 version of Dr. Jekyll or Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now, this movie is definitely pre-code. The whole thing is about.
Isn't it super short?
No, it is not. I mean,
okay.
a lot of early films are, runtime is around an hour. I want to say it clocks in better than that.
Is this the one where the makeup like literally made his life a living hell every day?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the great part about it, I mean, the makeup for its time is pretty amazing. On top of the fact that there's a couple of tricks that they did in there that nobody knew how they did for years.
It's kind of like the what's the fucking Eraserhead with the lamb baby. No one knows how that happened.
Yeah,
no one
really.
knows how that happened.
Yeah. But there's this, there's every time that he's essentially triggered because after a while he doesn't need the potion anymore.
Right.
Every time that he's triggered to turn back into Hyde, the effect is worse. So every time he looks worse and worse, and the makeup effects get just that much more strong. On top of the fact that essentially the whole movie is about sex, and that's Jekyll's dark side because. He's essentially, not getting together with his
he's the id.
with his rather chaste fiancée, and instead pursuing a prostitute who he ends up murdering.
So yeah, I do. That is a classic that you bring up. But have you read the book?
I have not read the
Jekyll
book.
and
No,
Hyde?
I understand all the film versions are quite different.
My thing was, since it is such a short story, rather, I expected it to be a short, like the Edison Frankenstein or whatever.
Yeah.
Because literally the book is a couple dozen pages, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's a very quick, like, here's a dude, finds this thing, and maybe in the movie it's different, because in every movie, when he takes the potion, he hulks out. He gets bigger.
To a certain degree, yeah.
So
Yeah.
So he gets like hairier, larger, more muscular, more imposing. In the book, he gets smaller.
Really?
Yeah. When Dr. Jekyll, correct pronunciation, when Dr. Jekyll is just a regs-ass doctor, he's like walking around 5'9", 5'10", something like that. When he takes his potion in the book, he shrinks to like a 5'2" homunculus.
Interesting.
And whatever. But also, the book is pre-code. So the only thing that literally happens is we hear after the fact about how a man was beaten to death with a walking cane on a bridge.
Which they do include that in this film version. He ends up murdering his fiance's father.
I like that.
Yeah. And then you get towards the end where, even the good man is trying to escape by turning back from Hyde into Jekyll.
Yeah.
And then still, when the cops show up and his friend shows up and he's confronted, he turns into the worst version of himself yet.
It feels.
And I think that's the makeup effect above all the others that the actor had such a hard time.
Yeah,
with.
that was. Oh, I can't imagine. Like with that rudimentary technology.
Well, there's a great one of the things that they had such a hard time understanding how they accomplished it later was it's a black and white film, and they used a red makeup like around the eyes and the mouth and the cheeks, and then had a red filter over the camera, and you remove the red filter, and then you could see the makeup, and that was just like stage one of the transformation, and then he would turn into something that was. I mean, you talk about how he became something smaller in the book, but I think the idea is that he's supposed to be like retrograding. Backwards,
like Neanderthal.
Right, exactly. So he becomes this Neanderthal version of himself.
Right. And I guess that's the whole point of his in the movies, it's always like a devolution where he's given to his baser instincts.
To a certain degree,
where
depending on the version.
in the book, it's an unleashing of a side that he has fully within himself, but does not let out. So,
well, that's the whole point, and they still mention that in the 30s version of the film.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the idea of separating the good and the bad, and if you could be nothing but purely good, awesome, and if you could give full reign to the bad, what would that do?
Yeah.
So they do discuss that, possibly on a different level compared to the book. But
I think that it codifies the human condition, because if you're all one way, you're eventually going to snap and want to flip the script. But if you ride the middle,
right.
Here's the thing: if someone says, "Oh, I never drink. Oh, I never do this. I don't ever do that," I don't fucking trust that weirdo. Because if you don't do fucked up shit at least sometime, how the fuck? Why would I want to hang out with you?
Right.
Because you know that the guy who's always on the up and up, who's always like, you know, I don't swear, I don't drink, I don't do this. You know that guy has a fucking serial killer spree in his future.
Right.
But me, I like to drink. I like to say fuck. I'll never kill a single person.
So you say. Yet.
It's been several hundred years. So, I mean, cosmically, obviously nothing. But within context. So next on my list.
Yes. What is next on your list?
So I added this to the list.
I think I need to lay off the wine. I think I just said lift.
What is on your list?
What's on your lift?
Call me an Uber, dude. Scuba. Nope, not scary.
Dave,
scary
what
Uber.
is next on your list?
I put this on before I realized how short it was.
How short your list is, or how short the movie is?
Wink, something else. So the problem is, I sat down with Dolly Dreadful over there. We watched this, and I realized, oh fuck, it's a 22-minute half-hour special, but Garfield's Halloween special, not a movie. I get it. It's 22 minutes, 27 with commercials. However, one of the best depictions of ghost pirates. One of the scariest old fucks living by himself.
True.
And the fact that people were willing to give a cat and dog candy.
That's fair.
I'm totally
That's
cool
scary.
with. Yeah, like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Things not being what they are in the future, when we're not going to constantly be murdering those who are alive with our diseases. If a cat and dog in full regalia walked up, I hear the doorbell ring, I walk out there. How'd the doorbell get rang? I don't know. Those assholes are walking away with candy.
Or, you know, I mean, to be fair, maybe we need to give that dog and cat candy because they're so well trained. Or find the trainer of that dog.
That's what I'm saying. If this was simply an idea of a cat absorbed with junk food, he gets a treat. If it is a pet owner training his two animals to wear costumes, yada, yada, yada.
Dave doesn't go with him, does he? He's
No.
like, you kids go out.
John Arbuckle.
John,
I'm
sorry,
Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Arbuckle.
You're Dave.
I'm Dave. John's
Hi,
too
Dave.
busy trying to bang that vet that will not give him the fucking time of day.
Are we going to
believe
talk about the Garfield special and not even mention the second greatest pirate song of all time?
Oh, we're getting to it.
All right, fair.
I'm just saying, while the kids are away, the kids in this case being Odie and Garfield, John is repeatedly getting turned down for fucking that vet.
Yeah.
And
Poor
what's
guy.
she got going on? She's always so depressed. She has nobody at home, I guarantee. What's up with that, bitch? Get with John. Anywho, yeah, great
But have you
pirate
seen
song.
Have you seen John's eyes? Look at John's eyes.
But look at the vet tech. They all look like they've been on like meth benders.
I'm trying to remember if does she just look like Dave with longer hair?
He does look like she does look like Dave, but John looks like John.
I mean, John.
Yeah,
You're
John
John.
Arbuckle.
Yeah.
I'm Dave. John, yeah, that's the thing. Here's spoiler alert. They have very similar faces.
Yeah.
Another reason they should be bumping uglies. Because you have a kid, who does it look more like? It doesn't fucking matter. You get the same head. But yeah, Garfield Halloween special. Maybe my here's how I'll qualify. I'm not going to say favorite Halloween movie because it's not a movie, but favorite Halloween special.
Yeah.
And it was back in the days when
Every time that you say the
literally-
word special, I just see that spinning slogan.
Yeah.
Every time.
That's what I'm talking. If I had that graphic, you'd be seeing the shit out of that. But Garfield, there's no fat to trim also. It's like, wake up, Binky's saying, get your ass out of bed, time for candy.
You'll be worthless.
Hey, yeah! I can't do it, obviously. But no fat to be trimmed. There's a song. This is the night for trick or treats. They go up and get, like, there's a little costume montage. There's a little getting ready montage. Like, it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And then, to top it all off, even without this, it would be a classic. But then this happens, Scott. The old man, he steals their boat. He goes, "Oh, stay!" And he tells them this ghost story about the pirates.
I seem to remember the
mist?
The mists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like, I don't know how, but Garfield and Odie say, "We're out of here." They look away from the old man for half a second and be like, "Thanks for the what?" He's gone.
Right.
He's in their boat. So the ghost pirates show up. It's very scary.
It's a dinky rowboat, and the pirates are like, "Oh, that's a boat. We're taking the boat."
Well, no, the old guy took the boat. The ghost pirates showed up in the ghost ship.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But here's one thing I'll tell you about ghost pirates.
They were obviously from Astoria.
Not only that, but considerate. They may be thieves of the high seas.
Yeah.
They may be bilge rats and scallywags. But after they blew apart that old dude's floor and pulled their treasure out, guess what the fuck they did?
Don't they leave that candy?
Put the fucking floor back. They said, "Hey, we're ghosts. We want our treasure." Why? We don't know. We can't buy shit. We're Caspers, not Pepsis. But they bring up their treasure, put the floor all back. Anyway, that's not even the good part. The good part, Dr. Dreamscape, is... Achoo! Boom! Their hiding place is blown open.
Yes, that is a good scene.
Squeak! Squeak! And if you haven't seen it, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
That's true.
If you have, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. To be fair, I do have it on DVD.
I have it on DVD somewhere, but since it's on YouTube literally 4,000 different times, I'm just like, I could dig something out of the closet, or I could do this.
Right.
Guys, I have to stop the show. All of my note cards have fallen to the ground, and they are now out of order, and I did not number them.
Oh, man.
Oh, they fell in a pile. Hold on, we might be okay.
Right. This is a lesson, though. This is a lesson. Going forward, number the cards.
Number the cards, or paperclip, or
Yeah.
drink less. That ain't going to happen.
Yeah,
So
no,
paperclip,
number the cards.
obviously.
Wow.
Or number the cards. I'll take either way. So,
Yes.
Dreamscape, what do you got for third on your list?
Oh, that's right. I get to talk too.
Yeah.
I forgot about the list.
Three whole lists.
I
mean,
have decided that as much as I love, and I do mean love, the 1933 version of Mystery of the Wax Museum, there's a very important remake of that film called House of Wax from 1953.
Oh, not the Paris Hilton one?
That would be correct, Dave.
That was
Not
so good.
the-
It was
the
so
Paris-
scary. It was like Paris Hilton.
Oh my God.
And
It
there was
so
wax.
Scary.
There
Oh
was
my
a
God.
house of wax, and
Oh.
all the idiots got killed, and I was scared. I saw that movie and I left. 'cause I
Guys, have
was
you seen it? It was
scared.
so scary. Oh my God.
Fucking don't remake movies, Hollywood. You fucking idiots.
So anyway, 1953's
Right, okay.
Vincent Price.
Yeah, I wanted to say Sherlock Holmes, but that's the booze talking. Vincent Price.
Yes, House of Wax, which basically, above anything else up to that point, put Vincent Price on the map.
I have a
as
question.
A horror star.
I have a question.
Yes.
A horror question. At the end of that movie,
Yes.
I think it's the woman. She hits him in the face a whole bunch, and his mask falls off, and
Correct.
you see, oh my God, it's been a mask
It's
the
been
whole time.
a mask of wax the whole time.
How the fuck was he talking to people?
Listen, Dave, if you're just gonna pick it apart,
Listen, if you want me to enjoy a movie, I gotta know why this dude can make his mouth move. Wax.
because it's wax, it moves.
House of Wax.
Yeah. Also, that movie was shot in 3D, so a lot of the effects and camera angles were done. I'm going to say that again.
If you do it
all
right.
the effects and the camera angles were done, keeping in mind that it was shot as a 3D movie.
When you shoot a movie thinking in 3D, it benefits because
Does it? I mean, let's talk about Jaws
well
3D.
no like let's say benefits on a sliding scale.
Let's talk about
Jason
3D, yeah.
Jason 3D.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th 3D
Yeah.
with lots of yo-yos, lots of brooms, Lots of shit
Sure, you're
happening.
not thinking of House of Wax at this point because there's a lot of yo-yos in that one too.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
But that's part of it. What I'm saying is, if you do it right,
Yes.
and because there are movies that they shoot and then convert to 3D,
Right.
not having 3D in
No,
mind,
no.
so they don't take advantage of the blah blah blah
No,
blah
we're
blah.
talking about classic 3D era.
Yeah, if they shoot it with 3D,
Right.
there's something there, and that's what I'm saying. Like, say what you want about Drive Angry, it was shot with 3D in mind.
Oh,
Say
cool.
what you want about Friday the 13th Part 3D.
It was shot. That was obviously
It was
shot.
shot,
with 3D.
yeah, because
With things falling towards the camera.
right, there
including
was sticks coming
severed
towards the
heads.
lens and severed heads, and I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Typing Square.
Oh,
but
you're wrong.
If I do not miss my mark, that's the one where the dude is doing the handstand, walking on his hands, and Jason cuts him from dick to chin. But the important part of that shot is it was shot from below, so the dummy was on top of glass. So it was like you were seeing it from below. So you got to see a
So you have
dude's-
the floor.
Yes, you got to see through the floor. You were Caspering the shit out of
I
it.
believe the proper term is the worm's eye view, Dave.
It's the worm's eye view?
It is indeed, Dave.
I've never heard of that.
Now you know, and knowing's half the battle. Go, Joe.
I would rather have the bird than the worm if we're going to pick
Well, if you're the
sides.
early bird, you get the worm, so everything's okay. It's okay, Dave.
Well, no, it's not okay for the worm. Worm's eye view seems like it's the shittier of the two.
I believe I was talking about House of Wax, sir.
You were. I was holding up these note cards.
I know. Why else is House of Wax awesome, Dave?
Why else? Why else? Because of all the wax?
The wax, and it has a very young. It's got a, that guy from those Death Wish movies.
Charles Bronson.
It's got a very young Charlie Bronson.
See, now let me point out to the audience something. Scott wanted to know the name of a person, and I told him immediately.
Yeah.
I didn't let him flounder for
No,
4.5
thank you.
minutes.
I appreciate that.
Letting the rage inside of him build. But somehow on this show, not just you, Doctor, but everybody on this fucking show, when I'm like, hey, whose name is this from this movie?
You get floundered?
Not only floundered, I get what I was doing to you. People fucking me over. Anywho, I need a new drink soon. But let's hear about House of Wax. What is the second most important thing about House of Wax?
The second most important thing about House of Wax would be that it's 3D. The first most important thing about House of Wax would be Vincent Price and his performance.
I kind of figured he was going to be, because anything, like, let's be real, anything with Vincent Price in it pre a certain time period and even post for a different reason.
Yeah, it's gold.
There are some dudes in
Cinema history.
not only cinema history, because fuck like rom-coms and shit. I'm talking about like where you are not expected to give a fuck. Horror, where you are essentially cannon fodder. There are some people who stand out as titans. Vincent Price is probably, like, if there were a Mount Rushmore of horror, Vincent Price is up there.
Yeah.
He's probably in the
Look to your
Jefferson
right.
spot.
Look to your right. I mean, Vincent's right there staring at us this whole
Guys, you can't see this, but off, out of frame right now is a bust, Price.
That's
So I
right.
hope this video project was worth you hearing that. No, but yeah, Vincent Price, like, literally, what was it? We were watching, it was a 90s commercial watch party. I think it was a Halloween theme. And Vincent Price's ass shows up in a Polaroid VHS tape commercial. And I was like, I want to buy a fucking Polaroid VHS cassette tape.
It's important. It's true.
No, it's not. But it was Vincent Price. Anywho, is there anything else about House of Wax do you think I should know?
At this point, I don't, other than the fact that it's the one set Victoriana. Which
Does it
I
end
think-
in fire?
What's that?
Does it end with a
No,
fire?
it begins with fire.
Let me ask you this. There's a movie that very strongly reminds me of House of Wax, and I think there's a country music singer in it, where a group of wayward teens...
Do you want to go here? Do you really want to go here? Because you're going to break my heart. You're going to break my achy, breaky heart.
Was Billy Ray Cyrus in this movie? But here's a test of your old school movie knowledge.
Okay.
Because I feel like this is pretty old. And I think Glenn Campbell was in it, but we'll find out in the fullness of time. So, there was a bunch of kids. They show up at this place. This dude runs this museum, but he's also a straight up murderer, and he has a room full of mannequins, and he wears a mannequin doll face, and it's so good and it's so scary. And
this is a classic?
It's like 70s. I shouldn't say classic. It's 70s. It's that same. It looks like it was shot with the same camera they shot Piranha with.
Is there anybody on the board.
Yeah, typing square.
Yeah, typing square.
Here, while you're figuring that out, I'll make the list.
All right.
Piranha.
Piranha's the original, like the
Fucking
70s one. You know who directed that?
awesome. Roger Corman's.
Produced it, but do you know who directed it?
No.
Same guy who directed Gremlins.
Oh, Joe Dante.
Yeah, Joe
okay,
Dante.
so perfect. This is a dream team.
That was
You've
like
got
his directorial debut, I believe.
so good. Like if you want 70s.
And it is
I
so
know-
not comfortable.
No. It is a real ass movie shot in such a way that I can watch it literally 10 times a day. Like our hero is an old sack-bellied bearded drunk. Our villain is the dude from Invasion of the Body Snatchers,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
who then later,
died?
for no reason, what camera? This one? For no reason. The guy from Invasion of the Body Snatchers says, hey, there's a kid out there in a boat. I'm going to go get him. You're on a boat. The kid's on a boat.
There's piranhas.
There's piranhas in the water.
In the river. Yeah.
You go into the river.
The piranhas are in the river.
Piranhas are in the river. So can you guess what happened to that awesome sweater he was wearing?
Wait, I'm not keeping up with you right now.
It's
Wait.
fucked. Shark in the water. There were doll's eyes. But seriously,
Sharks in
if
the water.
I've got it on Blu-ray. If you
Do you really? Oh.
Yes. If you consider yourself a fan of pulp anything,
Yeah.
cheese anything,
Yeah.
this has just like
It's no Piranha Double D. But,
no,
You know, what
well,
is?
yeah, porn is what we call that. But when I mentioned a cheeseburger earlier, this is the perfect cheeseburger. There's just enough meat. There's just enough cheese. There's just enough fixins. Like the people who come in and want to dump poison in the lake or the river because they're cold water piranhas and yada yada yada. Like everything is there.
Yeah.
Not on my list, but it's there.
Yeah. All right, what is next on your list, Dave?
You're gonna love this one. So
Not John, though. You're not John, you're Dave.
Not John. This is not Deadlight's John Arbuckle. This is not scary, but definitely 100% down to the bone marrow Halloween. Ernest Scared Stupid.
I didn't, when I made this list, no.
It's
I thought we were both going to be serious about this.
let's unpack this. So Ernest Scared Stupid, probably a 1992 flick. I haven't looked it up. Between 1992 and 1994. So Ernest, number one, Jim Varney, one of the best actors of your lifetime if you're alive right now. 2, Eartha Kitt as the crazy old junkyard lady for some reason. She's also semi-steampunk. She wears a lot of goggles. And then all of your goblin costumes that aren't expressly focused on by the camera, guess what they were pulled from? That classic, the best worst movie, Troll 2. So when you're watching Ernest Scared Stupid, you are seeing Troll 2 costumes repurposed.
Wow. It doesn't get any worse.
And not only that, but like it's got it all. You got Eartha Kitt, you got Jim Varney, you got kids turning into little wooden statues.
Wow.
And then you've got the 2 dudes.
The 2 dudes?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Charlie and his brother. They're in all the Ernest movies. The fat guy and the skinny one.
Oh. All right. Well, it's been a while. I mean, let's face it.
Bobby is the old guy.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that it might have been
Typing square.
At least 25 years since I've seen an Ernest movie. Could be wrong.
Well, it's been dead at least that long. But yeah, so here's the thing. Bobby and Chuck. Bobby's the old guy, the slimmer man, Chuck, the fat guy. Ernest Scared Stupid, they're chefs. Ernest Scared Stupid, they sell like a joke. Whatever. Their characters are so unimportant. Ernest goes to jail. They work at a bank. Ernest goes to camp. They work in the mess hall. Ernest Scared Stupid. They run a joke shop.
How often do you watch these?
Enough. Here are the things. Here are the ones I don't watch very often. Ernest Rides Again. Ugh. Ernest
I
goes
remember
to
seeing
Africa.
the Christmas one in the theater.
Christmas one was so good. If we have a Christmas episode, you better fucking believe we're going to be talking about that bitch who tries to rip Santa off wholesale.
So what you're saying is before we do our Christmas episode, I have to watch it again after all these years?
Listen, if nothing else, do yourself the favor.
I'm pretty sure my dad owns a copy, so I think we're all right.
Do yourself this favor. I'm going to tell you what it's like, what's going to happen, but you're not going to feel the warmth until you see it in real life. When shit goes pear-shaped, and Ernest is behind the reins of that sleigh, and shit's going crazy. And you're like, how's he going to get out of this one?
Who knows?
He comes straight toward the ground and completely vertical. And he looks to camera and he goes, air brakes. And wow! And then they all land. That's the part you got to watch, my friend. Air brakes.
I had no idea that this was such
Listen, there's not a lot
a
of things.
pinnacle of cinema.
Right. There's not a lot of things I get excited about cinematically. However, an Ernest movie will do it.
All right.
Have we gotten any that movie that I was talking about with the old 70s killer?
Nobody chimed in on that one.
He might not be Glenn Campbell. He might just look like him, but I swear to God, it's a country fuck. Where are my nerd movies at?
I mean, we can Google this shit, but
Dolly.
it's all right. It's good. I think we should move on.
Next.
All right. Am I up?
Yes.
I think I'm up.
Yeah. You're number 3.
Because
or
I needed
4.
to include it in the list, I put the original 1931 Frankenstein. I wanted to put Dracula.
If you're going to choose one, that would be mine.
because Frankenstein had the better series of movies from there on. Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Waitress, Dolly Dredd, everybody.
Yeah, Dracula is the fantastic film, and there's a lot of things about it, and the multiple versions of it that are very interesting. Frankenstein has a great series.
Let me run this up your flagpole.
Yeah.
There are movies that are good, that are well executed, that are artistically spot on.
Yeah.
And then there are the movies that are fun to watch.
Right.
I think Dracula, artistically, cinematically, lighting-wise, everything, they put their time and effort into that, and it is something to behold. However, if I want to just switch off and watch something fun, Frankenstein is my man.
Indeed, but there is plenty of artistic flavor too.
Right. I'm just saying, like, impressionistically. If I were going to sit down and be like, do I want to experience?
It is more fun. It is more fun.
You got the climax. You got the fire. You got the windmill.
Yeah.
Dracula's more of a slow burn, so it's more critically minded, more analytical.
Yeah.
But when you've got Frankenstein, like that's because with Dracula, you're willing to be like, oh, nobody knows he's a vampire, even though it's 100 years ago it's been happening. But with Frankenstein, you know everything from the jump. Sure. It's just a shitty situation.
Yeah.
Another book I recommend would be A Modern Prometheus.
Yeah.
So good. You read the book?
Actually, no. I just bought a new edition that's illustrated by, a new printing of an older edition that was illustrated by Bernie Wrightson, who is like one of the kings of comic book horror art. So I'm looking forward to reading that at some point.
Yeah, Mary Shelley, amazing. Percival Shelley, whatever. But that book, I didn't read it around Halloween. I was just at a time when I was going through all the classics, like blowing through all the big names in.
I've read Dracula, but I have not read Frankenstein.
Frankenstein is so. For those not in the know, Dracula is sort of in fits and starts. It's in journal entries. It's in various this, that, or the other things, sort of coming along. But Frankenstein is a prose narrative where you are following this poor bastard brought to life as a concoction. Bastard. Much obliged, Dolly. But this poor asshole who did not ask to be made and immediately is shunned by his father.
Well, not only that.
Dick move.
But beaten by Fritz.
Right. Well, I'm talking about the book.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You were talking about.
Yeah, he's got it bad in both situations. In the movie, he's a tactless, sort of guileless, sort of dumb, speechless monster, where in the book, he's pretty clever.
Yeah.
He spends an entire year living in somebody's woodpile. And he writes fan fiction in his head about this family.
Really?
And it's such a gut punch. Oh my God. The biggest kick in the dick, literally speaking, is the moment after we've got Frankenstein's monster, who not only has been living in the woodpile behind this shed, inhabited by a man, his wife, and her father. He's also been doing all of their chores. He's been making their life better since his arrival, and yet will not show them who he is.
He's the gnome fixing their shoes.
Right.
But he has to deal with ticks.
But then, the dad's dead. Not dead. He's blind. The dad's blind, obviously.
Oh, is that where they got the blind man from? Okay.
Literary reference.
All right.
But after a year of him striving and building up this, like, in his mind, you can imagine, put yourself in that situation. You say, I've been helping these people out for a year, been chopping their wood, doing their hunting, cleaning their yada, yada, yada. Imagine when I pop up and say, hey, it's me, I've been doing all that shit. And you can imagine in your head this family being like, oh, welcome, monster.
You. No, don't tell me.
Immediately. They not only are they mean to him, but they try to murder him.
Well, I mean, he has been hanging out in their wood pile.
Right, but still, let's say there's been a man, but again, you've got precedent. If he says, I've been living in your wood pile for a year doing your chores, great. I say, good job on you, Frankenstein's monster. Come on in.
Think about moving out of my wood pile. Let's discuss it.
Right.
Yeah.
But if Frankenstein were not a reanimated corpse and instead a man down on his luck who found the great taste of meth, and he's like, I've been living behind your house for a week and a half saving my piss, then we'd have a problem.
Yeah, we might have a problem. Have you ever seen The Bride?
Frankenstein's, The Bride of Frankenstein?
No.
Or just The Bride?
No, The Bride, an 80s movie with Sting as Victor Frankenstein.
No.
Yeah. And
With Sting?
Yeah. It's not... The funny part is it starts off as a horror movie, and it basically just becomes a drama, which so much of 80s adaptations often did. But it's worth watching because it has... again, I'm drawing a blank, but the guy who played the Kurgan in the original Highlander, he plays the creature.
Okay.
The little person who played who was in not Brazil. Yeah. Anyway, he had his own show called The Wizard. He plays
The Wizard.
Yeah. Anyway, it's worth watching. It's not like it's fantastic, but it is an interesting take on it.
Yeah, there's stuff out there that needs a watch, but wouldn't make anybody's list of anything. All right. So moving on, I had to throw this one on there, or at least one of these on there. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warrior.
The one with the Dawkins song.
Yes.
The one that is, in fact, rockin' like Dawkins.
Here's what everybody already knows, but I'm going to point out. Jason, it took him literally at least, depending on when you want to count it, anywhere between 4 and 6 movies to find who Jason was. Because in the first one, it
wasn't even Jason.
It's Pamela.
Yeah.
It's
his mom.
Right,
His mom doing all the killing.
That's why I'll say 4 to 6. Because if you want to count number 1, technically he was down there in the lake, covered in goo, drowned by the horny teens. Whatever. But
so, I mean, he's already dead in one? I mean, how does he come up out of the
technically,
lake?
that's the thing. It's a rough mythology.
I mean,
let's be real.
I mean, like, even so, you're saying even in 2 he's already supernatural, but he's not?
Not necessarily, because the fake out the thing in 1 was presented as a fake out in that she was just dreaming it. But when they bring him, whatever. Moral of the story is, the one thing about Freddy is he came out of the womb a fully formed character. Is what I'm getting at.
A fully formed monster, no less.
Not only that, yes, he's not only a character, he's a monster, he's an idea.
Yeah.
Jason, if we're going to be real, didn't exist in any incarnation you would recognize him as until at least 3.
Yeah.
Maybe the end of 2.
And Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is definitely one of the most creative.
Yes, that's the thing.
There's
So we got
a lot going
the
on.
Dream Warriors. Yeah. So you've got the guy who's like in Dungeons and Dragons in the wheelchair. You've got
in my dreams, my super nerdery can hurt people.
Yeah, but here's, subsequent sequels would make this painfully obvious.
Right.
But no matter how much you think you're a badass in the dream, it's still Freddy. It's still Freddy. He doesn't give a fuck whether you're a wizard, a warrior, a punk rocker.
As long as you were born on Elm Street, that's all that matters.
You don't even have to be born there. You can move there.
Yeah, right.
Like
that's true.
If you show up like, oh, what? Like 20 years ago before I moved in, there was a pedophile, which, again, here's the thing they did in the old movies, they fucked up in the new one. In the old one, they said, oh, he's real bad to children. He's a child murderer. Then you can be like, okay, yeah, he's a sick dude. And you can imagine things that aren't necessarily stomach churning. But with the Jackie Earle Haley one, and they're like, you know what we should do in this one? Let's take out all the humor and really double down on the pedophilia. Let's make sure that he wants to tell everybody what it tastes like, what it feels like. That was a fucking shitty move. Having Freddy be a funny dude who was like, yeah, I killed kids. Great. Kids are annoying. I love a kid murderer because he's funny and he kills them in their dreams, and there's literally nothing to feel bad about.
Have you ever met him? I mean,
Robert
floating
Englund?
around. Yeah, Freddy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
constantly. I met him on The New Nightmare. He was only on set accidentally though, so that was weird. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in the next one, they like, you know what? Let's take away the horror, not the horror. Let's take away the humor.
Yeah.
Let's remove everything that makes Freddy Freddy, and we'll replace that with something that no one ever wants to think, talk, or look at.
You know, Freddy might be the only person who can give Arnold Schwarzenegger a run for his money on one-liners.
He is
which means the missed opportunity here
Schwarzenegger versus
Schwarzenegger playing Freddy. Welcome to prime time.
Here's the thing, Doctor. May I call you Doctor?
You may.
The thing is,
Dave.
we did get that.
Dave Arbuckle.
Dave Arbuckle. The problem is, Doctor, we did get that very thing.
Did we?
Do you remember a little film? Maybe you've heard of it. Batman and Robin, where a large muscle band man painted
right.
blue ran around.
I concede defeat.
Thank you.
I retract my statement. I retract.
Victory. All right, Dream Warrior.
All right, I
What do you
agree. That one's the best. All right, my last movie on the list is 1958's Horror of Dracula, also known as Dracula,
Hammer
from
Horror.
Hammer Horror Studios. Yeah,
Yes.
with Christopher Lee as our
Great
titular
Dracula.
character. Yeah, and Peter Cushing as Van Helsing.
Yeah.
But I love
Cushing and Lee.
Yeah, but I love the twist that we start with in this film.
The Twizzler.
Yeah.
Just one in the beginning of the movie.
The idea that Jonathan Harker is there, and you think to begin with that he's there as a victim, and as it turns out, he's a fellow fucking vampire slayer, which is a really nice little twist.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of, especially with these old Victorian era tales, Edwardian era tales, they left out a lot of real life.
Yeah.
And so there's opportunity there to flesh out, like, let's say, not that I'm going to point to this as like, hey, everybody go out and watch this movie.
But you should.
No, the movie I'm about to say.
all right.
Watch that one, yes. But at your own
Peril.
peril, take in
See, I didn't
Francis
even
Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
No. I can't tell you how much I love that movie. I love that movie.
Let me ask you, what part do you love the most? Is it the Twizzler armor that Gary Oldman's in the beginning?
It's not Twizzler.
It
It kind of
looks
like a Twizzler.
sure as shit like Twizzler. Like,
It looks like muscles, Dave.
if your muscles are made by, who makes Twizzler? A candy company?
I'm sure.
If your muscles are made by a candy company, then maybe. Are we having technical issues, Dolly? But there's the autofocus button on the back there. It should say like AEL or something. Back button focus. This is a live broadcast. It's the button that I always push when I focus the camera. So like if you were going to hold the camera.
Go ahead, run up.
So
I'll hold the camera. I'll hold everyone's attention.
well, because the box is on me, so it would have to be. Is it? Oh yeah, watch out for the. It's a mess of cables, and this.
Oh, looky, I'm on camera.
Yeah, so that's good news, guys. It has been hour and a half, and the show is off the rails. Our equipment is fucked, but Hammer Horror. We got anything else to say about that?
Just
Hold on.
Cleavage.
For future reference, people, there's a button back here. There's one button. It says AF.
So now it's in focus as fuck. Is that what
Yes,
you're trying to say?
it is in focus AF. For those of you out of the know, AF means as fuck, even in photography. So they say, is it autofocus AF?
Oh, that makes
autofocus
sense. Hey,
as
look at that.
fuck. But yeah, so where are we going with that?
Nowhere. It's
all
just,
right.
just it was the big. It was really the movie that not only put Christopher Lee on the map,
Right. Oh
but
yeah,
also
that's the
put
whole thing.
Hammer on the map as a horror studio.
Yeah, Lee and Cushing are
Well-
like peanut butter and chocolate. You've got them swapping roles. They both go, whatever. The Mummy, Frankenstein, Dracula, they fight each other as every incarnation. And I can't think of someone like, let's say you had an old-timey monster. Let's say you got a Dracula. Let's say you got a Wolfman's. Let's say you got a Frankenstein's.
I've heard of those.
I would go to Peter Cushing. I would be like, hey, Pete, check it out. I got a monster. And he's like, hey, I've done this a million times before. Because like when you go to a monster hunter, you want someone old. Like if I saw a millennial monster hunter when he had like a GoPro on his fucking forehead and he's got like really ripped and he runs around after monsters. I don't want that. I want an old ass dude with gray ass hair reading books.
I'm thinking this is a good movie idea. Like where...
Action monster?
Yeah. No. The action monster hunter who fucking bites it because it turns out he's lame. And then you have to turn around and go to the Peter Vincent character who...
Oh, so it's like a rug pull out from under you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this is a good idea.
There are not enough movies that start out with a character and that person dies in like the first 4 minutes and then we move on to somebody else.
Right.
Not enough movies pull the rug out from under you.
I would like to see this movie. And this is a modern play on, in fact, Horror of Dracula, where Jonathan Harker starts as your vampire hunter, only to bite it, no pun intended.
The dick. People familiar with this show and this podcast will know that we've had some pretty good horror ideas recently relating I've had some pretty good horror ideas recently relating to a Jason reboot that could tie in action.
I mean, it's not enough that they've already made like 18 of those films. You want a reboot?
Maybe not a... Okay, so not a reboot.
Right.
I'm saying it would slot in between 8 and 9, because 9 he goes to hell, and it'll be hard to have a sequel once he's in hell. Also, another thing they don't talk about in Jason X, in 9, he is literally, virtually pulled through the ground into hell, and my man Freddy, he reaches up to grab the mask.
Yeah.
10.
Only to lead on to Freddy versus Jason.
No, not even.
Yeah.
Jason X.
All right.
So, the problem here is, the last time we saw Freddy, Jason, yanked underground, Freddy grabbed the mask, so he's in hell. Gonzo. Right. I want to say, and maybe Kayla can back this up, but I feel like the opening of Jason X is people walking down a futuristic hallway with Jason, like, in a frozen tube, like Disney style.
Talking to the wrong guy, man. I don't know.
Kayla will have to back me up in the typing square, but I feel like, and David Lynch is there.
What?
As a bit part.
Are you kidding me?
No, I am
which movie?
100% Jason X. David Lynch
All right, I'm watching this shit.
is walking Jason's body through this facility, even though the last time we saw him, he was pulled into hell. Literal hell. He is now...
Wait. The last time we saw David Lynch, he was pulled into hell?
Possibly. I don't know where you were the last time you saw David Lynch.
Actually, I've been watching his weather reports lately, but...
He does the weather?
Yeah.
Good for him. Diversify is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But moral of the story is 9, hell. 10, smash cut 2, he's just in a tube. And they're like, not only that, but Lynch himself fucks up the entire canon. He gets the line that fucks up all of Jason's for the rest of eternity. He says, because he's talking to the scientist who will also later then get frozen at the Crystal Lake Research Facility. Fuck you, Jason X. You went to space, and you're like, you know what we should bring with us? The same ass name, the same ass, like they had a fucking holodeck, Scott. They had a holodeck on the goddamn ship. And you know where they went on that holodeck? To a camp!
That's what you do, man. To the same one.
No, that's not...
You're going on about this. I'm still trying to decide when I get my copy of Jason X whether or not I'm putting it in the horror section or in my David Lynch section. I don't know which.
If your David Lynch section can accommodate a 30-second cameo, it'll slot right in. Moral of the story is, fuck that shit. Like they had... we were in the future.
Has she chimed in yet? No? All
Kayla, right. Come on, man. You got to be out there. Okay. So... I haven't said my last one yet, right, everybody?
What was it?
I'm about to.
All right.
Freddy v. Jason.
Wow. All right.
Okay, so this one is on the list for several reasons, because I realize, number one, it's
for that
not...
choice, I'm just going to have him look at you.
True. Not because it's a good movie, not because it's well written, not because the graphics hold up, not because it's well executed. Simply because it like fulfilled the wish of millions of kids.
It's true. It's true.
It's the only one we've got.
Yeah.
Chucky hasn't fought anybody.
Yeah.
Michael Myers hasn't fought anybody. Pumpkinhead hasn't been seen in years. Fucking all the big monsters, they've never fought.
Yeah.
So Jason v. Freddy
And that
has
was
to
such
make
a
the
staple
list.
of horror cinema back in the day.
Yeah,
you know,
like
Frankenstein versus the Wolfman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
House of Dracula, where you also had Frankenstein, the Wolfman.
or you could also throw some knuckleheads like Abbott and Costello in there. That was the thing.
can.
Back in the day, people were like, well, also, here's the thing. Back in the day, one company owned all the monsters, so fine. Today, you know, New Line, Orion, whoever, they all own these horror properties.
You gotta make
Let
a
me
deal,
ask
man.
you this, movie studios, low budget, C-grade horror movie studios. Let me ask you this. You got properties like, let's say you got Jason. Let's say somebody else has Freddy. Let me
Let's
ask
talk
you
the
this.
full moon features here.
Do you fucking like money, you assholes? Would you rather have half of a fuck ton of money watching Michael Myers fight Jason? Or would you rather have half of dick because you haven't done shit with these properties, you fucks? Horror. Let's just sit on it. You know what? We'll do this. We'll have Jason do 10 movies. We'll do another one 20 years after the last one. It'll suck, and we'll all look like assholes.
No, let's just reboot it and make it worse.
Even if you're going to reboot it into a universe where there's other fucking cool shit.
True.
I have had if you've been alive for any amount of time, you, like I, probably have an impacted ass full of cannon
They call it
fodder.
piles, Dave.
You might have the piles of campers, of not like one-dimensional characters. I've seen so many people die in so many shorts, near so many lakes, around so many
When you
trees.
say they died in short shorts, you mean what they were wearing at the time, or?
Oh,
Or are we talking
yeah.
short
They
films? Or
were
short
wearing
films?
yes, no,
Okay.
yeah.
All right,
They were wearing the short shorts. I was not.
All right.
And we were not watching short movies. But yeah, Freddy versus Jason. Even though it's not like if you watch it today, you're gonna be like, these graphics suck. The CGI is awful.
That's always interesting to me. Why do some people call it graphics? I mean, it's special effects. Not everything about it is a digital effect.
Because when you see the things that make you go, ugh, those are graphics.
It's usually the graphics.
Those are
yeah.
video game graphics. If you have a practical effect, a squib, a fake
I
head,
do really remember that set though,
which one?
where it was like the dream sequence where it's like I think you're inside Jason's head and it's like the Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah. So we got a
and it's
couple
just
in
death.
right. Freddy v. Jason. We got Camp Crystal Lake, where in his mind he's constantly dragging bodies back to
Yeah,
this place.
yeah, I mean,
But we also got to see the boiler room. So I mean,
There's some iconic stuff. in
Right,
there.
it's
not all shit.
the iconography is there. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
For everything, like the writing as far as like Freddy goes, because here's the thing. When you have a silent killer, you cannot fuck up his dialogue. When you have a Freddy, it is incredibly easy to make something funny into something fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, but
Thank
you
God
still
that didn't
had,
happen.
You still had Robert Englund delivering the lines.
Right, but even like whatever, like the people who write the Friday the 13th movies, I'm not going to say they're writing, you know, they did not run out of their college level class of Chaucerian soliloquies to run onto the set of Friday the 13th Part 7. What I will say is they know how to do a fucking one-liner. So with Jason, it's fine. You say, okay, Jason quickly brings the machete from his left shoulder down to his right hip. Scene. Easy as shit. You want to do a Freddy, though, you know, you want to do your prime time, bitch. It's got to be something, bitch. You're a wizard, bitch. Like, check this shit out, bitch. He was always saying bitch.
Yeah, it's true.
Freddy loved the bitches. So yeah, Freddy v. Jason. Not a great movie, but it is
a
the
fun movie.
only one that we can look to in latter day life.
Right.
Where two horror icons duke it out.
Yeah.
Because where else?
I mean, it's no Aliens versus Predator, but what is?
Diarrhea is better than Aliens versus Predator. Ugh, like, yeah, okay, let's take two franchises that are inextricably linked to blood, gore, rated R, horror. You know what we'll do? When we put them together, we'll make it a
but, all right,
PG-13.
you know, but you're still talking about something where, you know, it was hinted early on You have that moment in Predator 2 where you see the xenomorph skull on the wall as a
Right,
trophy.
but here's the
you
thing.
have to give it. So at least, I mean, you can say what you want about the movie, but at least they gave it to the fans.
Right. So you're telling me that if on your next birthday, I hint right now, I say, good news, doctor, I've got a plan for a surprise party. And then on your birthday, you walk in this door, and I've done a piss poor job. It sucks. It's nothing like you'd expected. It's 1, 2, 3 levels weaker than what you should have been given. You're due as a birthday recipient, and you're like, yeah, I am settling. No, AVP sucked. Requiem sucked. They kept FVJ, let's call it that. FVJ, Freddy vs. Jason. They kept that hard R. And that's what you want.
At least they gave you the R for the second one for Requiem.
But it's too little too late.
Right.
When one of your main characters has a proboscis with its own mouth, with its own crystalline teeth, and it can literally punch a hole in your skull, and you say, you know what this guy needs? Less gore. Be real. Also, don't fucking team up a predator with a sassy woman of color. He doesn't fucking care. He's a predator. She is a human.
Yeah,
Dead.
I don't know. I thought that was a cool sequence. I mean, that's direct out of some of the comic books too.
I get the spirit of it.
Yeah.
Again, my problem is the execution. A PG-13 where,
I have the director's cut. There's almost gore in that one.
I'll almost think about watching it.
Okay,
then.
that's good. Well, at least we can agree on that.
But what kind of dick? Like, you're a predator. You have not only faster than light travel, which grants you intergalactic space travel. You've got a med kit that you can make by crushing up a bathroom tile and solve all world problems. You've got all of this. You are a apex predator of the galaxy.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. However, your lackey that you recruit to fight the aliens, the things that you live to fight.
That's not a lackey recruiting. That's a moment of respect.
Okay, that makes this point even shittier then. So she's not a sidekick. He, the predator, is going to acknowledge her as, let's say, an equal. As a warrior, at least, to fight these aliens.
Right.
He's got space age, metal technology, discs that can fly through people. There's computer-aided drafting.
So you're saying just kill the human?
No, what I'm saying is, if you're going to take on a team member, how about give her little more than the dead body of someone you just fucking killed? Because he says, "Roar!" And in Predator, that means I'm going to make a shield out of an alien head.
I don't believe he said. He said.
It was either the clicking or the roars.
Yeah, it was the clicking.
Okay, so all that clicking amounted to, hang tight, I'm going to make you a spear. I have a laser on my shoulder. I'm going to make you a spear and a shield out of an alien head. Also
from the comics, though. I mean,
also, let's forget their blood is acid. So do you think that Predator found a stream?
No, that was the point of using the skull. It was the fact that she could use it as a shield.
But there was blood in the alien's head. Did he just so you're telling me there was a scene cut out of the movie. Maybe it's in the director's version. I haven't seen it. You're telling me that our old Predator grabs the tail of an alien and the head of an alien, runs down to the old creek and washes off all the acid blood?
Let me remind you that this is Halloween and that if you use the spoon on the inside of the pumpkin enough, eventually you get rid of all the innards of the pumpkin.
Listen, if you started last Halloween, you would not be done this Halloween with those shitty-ass pumpkin spoons they give you. So don't pretend like I've never used one of those pumpkins.
All right. Just
was that the last of your movies?
Yes,
I think that was the last of mine.
done with
That was the
movies.
top 5.
Yeah.
Woo! Good news. It is now time for the classic Halloween special Scary Story.
Oh, no.
Not only one will be scary, one will be interesting. I'll let you decide which is which. I want to throw it over to my man, Dr. Dreepsco over here, because he has told me we have a scary story.
No, we have a scary story tonight. It is in part based on the great Robert E. Howard.
Paper? What is this guy, old?
I know.
You don't have a phone?
I know. So, I want to tell you, Dave, that...
That's why I'm here.
All right, so...
John. My name's John. John Arbuckle.
Dead Air John,
Damn.
I want to tell you
Yes.
that once, long ago, two men traveling the South decided to stay the night in a deserted plantation mansion. Mm-hmm. And when one woke that night and found his friend missing, he crept up the rotting stairs and searched and searched. Finally, he was greeted by the grisly sight of his friend's lifeless corpse walking towards him, brandishing the bloody axe that had moments before split his own skull. And so our terrified traveler fled the mansion in terror, running straight into the forest and out into the forest and running directly into the local sheriff. Okay.
Reasonable.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Together, they found the body of the deceased friend. The sheriff, of course, was ready to charge our living traveler with murder.
He didn't
But
have a
remembered
sheet.
the awful past tales of the of the now dead residents of this rundown mansion. So, this sheriff, knowing the stories, the grisly tales of this rundown mansion, agreed to stay the night, agreed to a stay of execution, if you will, a stay of arrest, and search the mansion that evening with our weary traveler. Of course, the spirits of that house had not yet finished taking their toll. As the sheriff and the traveler settled in for the night, the mists began to swirl, and the past rose once more to claim another victim.
And then what?
How the hell should I know, man? I wasn't fucking there. Jesus.
Who told you this story?
I don't know, some guy, a friend of a friend.
Epstein?
Yeah, it was totally Epstein.
Well, I
Do you have a
hope-
story for me, Dave?
I hope everything worked out as what I'm telling
No,
you. So,
yeah. I'm
I
sure
do-
it was fine.
I not only do I have a story,
Oh.
but I've got a trick.
Oh, God.
Here I have a package of bicycle Call of Cthulhu playing cards.
I love that you have this idea because that, now that you're doing video, but you do still have it as a podcast, and yet you're doing a playing card trick.
Well, no one's going to hear this without the video. Let's be real. Let's be real. So,
Let's be honest.
this story, along with this trick,
All
I
right.
heard told to me
I'm watching intently, Dave.
many hundreds
I
of
want
years
to see
ago.
this magic trick.
Hundreds of years ago, let me tell you.
Wow.
I had a friend in the deepest, darkest depths of San Francisco. I think. Maybe San Diego. Shit. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Hi. So, San Diego or San Francisco. This friend lived in California before they
so
died.
it's obviously California.
Yes, tragically. I learned this trick.
Yes.
There got to be a spookier way to say that, but it's a trick.
It is magic, Dave.
It is a magic,
Right.
whatever. So
Wizard me, Dave.
here's the story. In the town of Kingsport, a sleepy little fishing town in New England, lived an old man. This man, he was a weirdo, Scott. I'm going to tell you right now.
The old man
because
R.
he did weird things. He had bottles with lead pendulums suspended by strings inside. And every once in a while, you could hear him talking to these pendulums. And he would address them by names like Long Tom, Shaggy Jim, and other pirate names. Gary the Pirate, he would say.
Donner, Blitzen.
Richard Blitzen, he would say. So, in this story,
All right.
we've got the old man's house. House of the old man,
So it's
full.
a house of cards is what you're saying.
Well, not only is it a house of cards because it's easily toppled, but it's full of stuff. As you
It
can
is,
see, it's
yeah.
full. All kinds of stuff. So, one night, 4, in the original story was 3, but we're going to do 4.
Holy shit.
4
Upped the game.
4 weirdos, burglars, and they also weren't white. They come into Kingsport. I think one of them was Brazilian, one was Portuguese. We had Vietnamese, Trung. You can't see that in the frame. So, anyway, four burglars. They hear that there's a fucking old dude living in this town of Kingsport. He's frail, which is easy to rob, but here's what makes it sweet, Scott. I mean, Dr. Dreamscape.
Dave.
Here's what makes it
Yes,
sweet.
Dave
Here's what makes it sweet. Because word is around the old fishing village of Kingsport that the terrible old man, that's his name, the terrible old man, he likes to pay for some of his debts in Spanish silver,
My God.
minted over a century ago.
Where did he get the Spanish silver? I had to think my way through that.
Also doubloons. So, anywho, obviously this is the fucking, you've seen the house.
Of
This
course.
is the old man's house.
Yes.
So late one night, maybe it was Halloween, I don't know. We have, this is jokers, but these are the thieves.
Right.
Here's the house. The old man is in the house somewhere. But the problem was, one night, these guys were like, it's time to steal from some old fuck. And I know the old fuck, we're going to do it. It's the terrible old man.
Yeah.
So, the first thief sneaks up into the roof, makes his way into the attic. The second thief follows in suit, if you can believe it, makes his way into the attic. Third thief, if you can believe it, went into the top of the house. Fourth thief, obviously he goes as well. They hang out in the attic because that's the place where people don't suspect break-ins in Kingsport. Here's the house. So, the first robber, he goes down from the attic. He's like, check this shit out. Where's all the great shit at? The basement. Check out the terrible old man's basement. Probably doubloons down there, so he ends up at the bottom of the house. Second thief, he's like, fuck your ass. I'm lazy as shit. Terrible old man's got to keep his stuff upstairs because it's easier to sneak away. So he, not in the attic, but like, it's like a 3-story house. 3 stories. Our third thief, he says, you guys got the top and the bottom. Fuck it. I'm going in the middle. So, we have our thieves in the house. But one guy stays in the attic. One thief stays in the attic because that's where the rope ladder is. If the fucking lurking fear is going to come in, it's going to be a bunch of people who fucked their family members, so watch out. So, as I was saying, we got our thieves in the house.
Right.
We got the one guy in the attic waiting for the delivery. But oh, fuck. Here's the thing. The old man, the terrible old man, not only is he terrible and old, spoiler alert, he's into mythos shit. And nobody fucks with him for one very good reason. And it's because
He's in league with Lucifer.
not only Lucifer, but Cthulhu, Nyarlathotep, Azathoth. So there's something going on. There's something's happening in the house. Whoa! Neighbors are like, something's happening. What the fuck? Oh, well, I don't care. It's old times. It's New England. I'm out of here. So in the house, eventually, there are no more robbers in the house. So he says, let's get rid of everything we don't need. So what happened the next day? There's an inlet in this small fishing town that, people like to go fishing in. Some old fishing motherfucker says, what the fuck is that shit? Those look like, what? No, actually, I don't know. They look like sea monsters. Let's pull them in. Let's see. Now I'm playing the fisherman in Kingsport. What the fuck? Oh, an ace got in there somehow. Guys, I'm drunk. But good news. All of our thieves.
There's several thieves there.
And one of the
Holy
things he
shit.
stole.
And, oh, look at that. Is that a heart?
Yeah.
Holy shit. He
He got stabbed in the heart. That's an extra bonus.
I thought he
So,
stole the old man's heart.
good news. No, he's a bad guy. Good news. All 4 people were found, and one of them had his heart cut out.
My God.
Was that
Dave,
scary?
How did you do that?
Since it didn't happen right, I cannot tell you how, because it did not happen right. The dude's heart should not have been on the beach. Sorry. But the 4 dudes.
Amazing.
And in the real story, there were only 3 dudes. But, hey, it's Halloween. Anywho, guys, that was from...
Hey,
so,
should I get that?
yeah, see who's calling. But the shout-out was for the name I forgot. Cradle to Grave.
Yeah, sorry.
It's very fast.
I don't know who that was. I'm sorry.
Anyway, big shout-out to my dead friend, Chamber of Horrors Charlie, who taught me that trick that I just screwed up in front of you. Here's the thing. I've been doing this trick solid 18 hours.
It's the moment you do it on
I
camera.
was so good at it. I was
Yeah.
so good at it. But let's be real. That was 16 hours ago and 1.5 drinks. But I hope you like that
Let's
story.
be fair. It's like 1 1/3. Come on.
Okay. So, hope you like that story. Listen, I wanted to pack as much shit in here as I could. So when Chamber of Horrors Charlie, when I saw them on the street corner outside of their Cabinet of Curiosities, which you're going to say, what? Not a Chamber of Horrors? No, Cabinet of Curiosities, inside the Chamber of Horrors.
Does he know the Crypt Keeper?
She. And, probably not because he's in New Zealand.
Fair.
Anywho, guys,
Currently.
Chamber of Horrors Charlie didn't tell me that story, but told me how to almost fool you. So, Doc,
Yes, Dave.
why is it that
Arbuckle?
why is it that vampires are allergic to cows?
Why aren't they?
Why are
Why are
vampires allergic to cows?
I don't know, Dave. Why are they allergic to cows?
Which camera is it? This one? Because that's where steaks come from.
Oh, Christ.
Woo! Oh, good news. This part of our episode was sponsored by a product.
Ah, yes, we're on to more product placement.
Just a few.
Sponsored by Candy Corn. They're dirt cheap because no one likes them, but kids still eat them. Plus, they're the perfect size and shaped to replace your teeth once you've rotted them away from eating these pure sugar. Sorry.
Oh my God, Candy
From
Corn is
eating
pulling their
these
sponsorship.
Pure sugar dental nightmares. That's right. Grab a bag today of Candy Corn.
Can we be real about Candy Corn for just a minute?
Oh, I don't know. Can we?
I realize Candy Corn is the favorite of people without taste everywhere. And when I was a child, this is early 1600s.
Right. I mean, that's a ways back. And I'm
no.
pretty sure it was still the same
Yeah,
candy corn that we
right.
eat today.
Yeah, it still
and by
was.
That, I mean, it was literally
Right.
the same
You can
candy
walk
corn.
by the factory. It's that same fucking Necco's factory that still makes all those shitty, whatever, chalk quarters you can eat. You go there, and as a kid, you'd be like, oh, man. You could, when you were stupid enough to fool yourself that each color of the candy corn was a different flavor, so you'd be like, white, orange, and then finish off that yellow. And then 3 or 4 pieces later, when your stomach is in uproar and you are shitting yourself inside out, you realize not only is corn bad for you, but candy corn also bad. Candy corn? Who's fucking... Seriously.
You gave me the ad.
Sorry, candy corn. I know you paid for this half of the show, but let's really rail about this shit because candy corn is one of those candies that was made right around the time I was born. Your Necco wafers, your candy corn, your bit of honey, your fucking pumpkins, all that shit. Whereas basically they just take sugar, throw some food coloring in it, and they say, hey, kids, eat it the fuck up because you're fat and it's 1776.
I love me some candy corn.
It's the fucking worst. Like, I'll even pull out bit of honey.
You will, but you're not going to.
I might. Bit of honey, even though it was my grandmother's favorite candy, they at least, here's the way you know a candy is worth your fucking time as a human being. If you have to unwrap it, go for it. If it's candy corn and there's a big bowl of it somewhere, or there's pumpkin somewhere, or there's something, if it's unwrapped, you know someone scratched their balls and grabbed a piece of candy. Why?
Even pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID. Everyone had balls pre-COVID. You could scratch those. I could right now. Let's forget about the Wayback Machine.
You're not going to demonstrate?
On camera.
Okay.
Not for this episode.
All right, that's fair. Fine.
That's the Halloween sexual triple. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Halloween triple X. Hallowex. So good news, Dr.
Yes,
Dreamscape.
Dave.
I have.
Deadlights, Dave. Arbuckle.
This is not phrased in a question. However, I'm going to ask you this as a question.
Oh God, you're making my mind work.
Why? Maybe I can't. We'll put that on the back burner.
All right.
Give me a second. That one I might have to think about.
Yeah. Told you to number the cards, man.
No, the number isn't off. It's just how do I here? Well, let's just do it
All
like
right,
this.
go for it.
Let's pretend like we're having a conversation.
Oh, must be.
Doctor
Yes, Dave.
Dreamscape. You never see a ghost happy to be around an owl whenever they get together. Do you know why?
No, why? Why don't you ever see a ghost happy to be around an owl?
Because it's always boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo!
No, I got it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Thanks.
I did not get it until that last vocal ejaculate.
Oh, right.
I get it now because the owl will say boo and the ghost says who?
Oh, I'm glad you explained it. Thank you.
Plus he lives in a tree. Here's the thing. I don't
Right.
trust birds. If you shit where you live, not into it. Ahem.
You have a bathroom, don't you? That's shitting where you live.
Right, but here's the thing. When you pull out a bird's nest, say from your house, do you also pull out a small toilet and plumbing? No, you pull out 9 pounds, a fist-sized
You
chunk of
say
bird
this
shit.
like you had indoor plumbing back when you were born. But let's face
No,
it.
I didn't. However, now that I've got it, it's something you're not going to give up.
All right. That's
Like, remember the first time you had a steak and you're like, yeah, that's pretty
like the one in
good.
my chest? Or,
Yeah,
all right.
cows, haunted cows,
Oh, right.
and vampires and steaks. Do you remember that?
I do.
Good, because that happened earlier. Anyway,
Now
guys.
you're a drinking
Oh,
habit.
Jesus. Yeah. So, guys, good news.
Hey.
Science.
Science!
Here's how I'll phrase this.
We are Devo.
Good news, guys. Good news. Science. Have you heard of it? Science, doctor. Doctor.
I have, yeah.
Have you heard that science has figured out why invisible ghosts are the most cowardly?
No.
We figured that out. Well,
No,
good
tell me
news.
why. What?
Good news.
Yeah.
I'm pretending I'm Jay Detterman. Good news, science. Because it's David Letterman and Jay
Oh, right,
Leno.
right,
but
yeah.
but Jay Leno's name has nothing that sounds like Detterman.
No.
So maybe I'm David Detterman.
Try again.
David Detterman.
Yes.
Good news, Scott.
Yes.
Doc.
Yes.
Tur. Dreamscape.
Yes, Dave.
Invisible ghosts have been figured the most cowardly by science. Can you tell why?
No.
Good news. Good news.
What? Oh.
I know why.
Okay.
Because the science is on the card.
Do tell.
The reason why invisible ghosts
here.
are the most cowardly
I'm
because
picking
they're
up what you're putting down.
because they're scared sheetless.
Oh, God.
Oh, Kayla, I hope you're
I
enjoying
need more of
this.
this wine.
Before I read this next one,
All right. How's the blood? Are you
It's
drinking
a-
the blood?
Hellhound.
Yes.
Hellhound.
It's very good.
It's working,
It's
man.
a young and red
So-
blood-filled drink.
Good news.
Yes.
People. No.
Yes.
What's a scary version of a magazine? Highlights. No. Scary magazine says.
Horror Hound says.
Right. Okay. So what? Cosmopolitan.
Oh, well played.
Cosmopolitan recently published an article about why warlocks can't have children. Would you like to know why, Doctor? You're a doctor after all.
sir. Yes, I am.
Would you like to know why?
Thank you
Why
very much,
doctors? Why doctors? Why warlocks can't have children?
Why can't warlocks have children, Dave?
Because they've got crystal balls.
Are you gonna let me want to read one of these?
Woo! Here. Well, okay. So now, yeah, I'll give you
All right, let me have one.
high frights.
Oh, hey.
Fright lights. Shit. Okay. But first, before I let you read some of these, before I let you read some of these hilarious inputs, we've got another top 5 on our hands, people.
Yeah, we can sail through this one a little bit better.
Yeah, this will be easy because, let's be real. You guys don't know what we're talking about. We do. We know what we're talking about.
Fair.
Trust me, you're going to like it.
Right.
This is top 5 villains.
Yes.
Not necessarily Halloween themed.
Right, but you have more modern, and I
Right.
have more classic.
Again,
villains.
we're going to. I'm my milieu, if you will, is the let's say mid 70s to. I fell off probably around the 90s, 1890s.
What'd you fall off of?
A horse and buggy.
Did the horse
That's how
have-
I died.
Did the horse have no name?
Yeah, it was 1922. I had $2. I set it to go at the horse race. I got into a buggy. I fell out of the buggy. It rolled over my neck, and I died. So I guess when I said earlier that it was a murder,
Well, it depends on who pushed you off the buggy, right?
well, full disclosure. I had a penny candy, and one thing led to another, and I fell out of the cart.
You were a penny.
But the dude at the reins did look back and did not give the horses a whoa command. That's why I committed. I didn't commit murder. I was committed murder upon me.
It was seppuku.
Seppuku. Yeah, I told him. I said, hey, dude, I'm going to fall out of this fucking cart. You think you're running my neck over? Anyway, guys, top 5 horror villains.
Yes.
Since Doctor over here, Dr. Dreamscape, started off the last top 5, I will start off this top 5.
Right.
And of course, if you know me, if you know the fact that I'm into new wave horror,
Is that 80s, Dave?
it is, yes. So 80s was a horror breakout because 70s, we had some rough shit. The 80s produced icons.
True.
So, again, in no particular order, on my top 5.
Go for it,
First
Dave.
one I got to mention, Jason Voorhees. Not the progenitor of literally anything, because he got the idea of murder from his mother. He got the idea of the hockey mask from that dumb shit Shelley, the hilarious prankster. So, that's the thing.
It was still better than the sack over his head.
Right. The sack was pretty rough. Yeah. And also, Jason, you've got access to sharp objects. Cut another fucking eye hole, dude. Jesus Christ. But yeah, so I'm saying Jason Voorhees simply because
Right.
of the lineage. He did not emerge fully formed as a clone would or as a Freddy would. However, you know, his mythos has grown and flourished, and there's something there. What do you got?
What have I got? I got Nicholas Medina from the AIP.
Boring. From who?
From the
AIP
AIP
commercial?
1961 version of Pit and the Pendulum.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're talking Vincent Price. We're talking
Yeah, you
Edgar
can't go
Allan
wrong.
Poe. We're talking Roger Corman. We're talking a guy who's driven to madness to the point where he finally becomes his own father, places a
That's
man
rough.
underneath a
Wait.
pendulum of death.
So here's the thing. I've read the story, The Pit and the Pendulum. What you're telling me about this father, why do we have a cat in the light here? What's happening? We've got a haunted cat here, everybody. Haunted Dalton. Hey, here's the thing. Also, P.S., if you haven't noticed it already, we've been doing this for 2.5 hours. Everybody's name starts with D. I'm Deadlights Dave. That's Dr. Dreamscape. We got Dolly Dredd over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of D in this podcast.
Fucking Driftwood Dalton. What other scary thing you got that starts
I
with a
like
D?
Driftwood. That's good.
Driftwood.
I like that. Yeah,
He's
in Italian. He's Zotara.
Yeah, he's gnarled and he smells like salt. So what was the dude's name again? You said his name was Gary.
Gary.
Gary
No.
from the
This guy-
Poltergeist.
This is Nicholas Medina.
Nicholas Medina. Okay.
Yeah.
So is he the guy who puts the dude in the pit?
He's your main villain throughout the course of the movie, but eventually he's driven mad to the point where he becomes his own father, although his name is still Nicholas. And yes, he puts the dude in the pit under the pendulum.
That's the thing that I'm confused about. He becomes his own father. Are you saying he's married his mother?
No, I mean he has a psychotic break where he.
So he goes full Napoleon.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So not that like he kills his. This isn't an Oedipus complex.
No.
This is like cosplay.
Yeah.
Parent
It.
cosplayerant.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Cosplayerant.
Right. All right, yours up. You're up.
Okay. Obviously, since he came out so perfect, so fully formed, so full of quips, Krueger next on the list.
Would that be Freddy Krueger?
Freddy Krueger.
I've met
Fred.
that guy. I know
Fred.
Fred
to his
Krueger.
friends. Fred Krueger.
God, he serves the best cocktail.
Here's the thing about Fred Krueger. For the longest time, he was just a zany guy who killed kids. And then one day he became a pedophile and he got ruined.
You know, it happens.
Thanks, Hollywood. Freddy Krueger. Not that Jackie Earl Haley did a terrible
No.
job. But, like, if you're going to It would be as if you were like, let's reboot. Let's reboot.
Dolly fucking lost it.
She's off camera. Let's reboot Abbott and Costello.
Yeah.
But instead of Costello, we have Abe Vigoda. Imagine how funny he
Eyebrows
would.
and all?
Yes.
All
Imagine how funny he would be next to Bud Abbott. Not right.
No.
Shitty idea.
Yeah. Where are you going with this?
I don't know.
Okay, just checking.
I just wanted you guys to know that I know
Am I
old
up?
things. Yeah, you're up.
All right.
Freddy Krueger was my
Top
in no
top
order.
5 horror villains. My second one is Dracula, and I'm as much as I love like certain iterations of Dracula, I'm talking the
Dracula,
original
just the
1932
genuine article.
Bela Lugosi
Okay.
Dracula.
So
Like,
not-
where do we get the iconography? Where do
Right,
we get that
okay.
cape? Where do we get that medallion thing?
That's the
Where do we
thing,
get that
man.
widow's peak, man?
Like, I don't think literally 99% of the population knows how deep that cut goes with Dracula.
Yeah, it's not
Like
kidding.
I would have to
Like
look this
even-
up.
Like even shit. Oh, it was Frank
Dolly.
Langella. Frank Langella couldn't walk away from that iconography when he did his.
I love Frank
70s
Langella.
version.
Dolly, really quick, look up. Find me the year that The Hound was written by H.P. Lovecraft.
The Hound.
The Hound. Because here's the thing.
Hound.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I think that, if not the idea, like Dracula itself, but the idea of Gothic horror was so entrenched.
You have, but Gothic horror goes back to Poe. even
Right.
more
But I'm
so.
going to say, like, this, Dolly, what do we got?
February of 1924.
24.
Wow.
So, Gothic, The Hound, 1924. The reason I bring that up is because when you read The Hound,
Which I will now. Thank you, Dave.
you will, you've got to.
Yeah.
Cliff's Notes versions, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but spoiler alert, the story is spoiled in the first sentence because it's a Lovecraft story. Spoiler alert.
So right off the bat, he says everybody's dead and it was cosmic.
Basically, like here's every Lovecraft story. Well, shit's fucked. Here's how it happened. So, with The Hound, it's the dude being like, seriously, I'm not making up what I'm telling you here. Every Lovecraft story starts with a dude at the end of his rope about to kill himself. The Hound is no different. So in The Hound, our protagonist, along with his domineering
Quote unquote. Protagonist.
along with his domineering counterpart, steal a amulet, which reminds me of the Dracula anime, which is why I bring it up. So these two dudes are so in love with the idea of death, they sneak into it's like in Norway, or it's like in the least threatening country ever. It's like Switzerland or whatever. They go to one of the Nordic countries and they steal an amulet from an old wizard. And that wizard is dressed exactly like Dracula.
Nice.
It's got the medallion, the cape, the whole nine. So that's why I'm surprised to hear what came before, because if you were to say, like, read this story contextless, watch this movie contextless, you would say vampire from Dracula, the motion picture, definitely influenced old creepy necromancer from The Hound.
Nice.
6 years before.
Turns out the other way around.
Yeah. So that's it. I think maybe Dracula is the last vestige of our Gothic roots,
I like that idea.
because Gothic was ghosts, it was vampires, it was werewolves, it was supernatural.
It was also setting too.
Right. It was dark and stormy night. And here's another thing about The Hound. Since you were going to watch it. Since you were going to read it, here's a great part of it. This won't spoil anything, but when you get to it, you'll be like, that was awesome. At one point, when shit is hitting the fan, people have died, and the dude is trying to make shit right with our dead friend. He literally has to beat a vulture to death with a shovel because it just wouldn't leave. And that's a hilarious aside. When he goes back to return the thing he stole from the man who is killing literally everybody,
vulture. Beat it to death.
he says, I want to say it was a vulture. If I'm wrong, sorry. It might have been a bat. But I feel like there was a vulture hanging around, and he found this vulture so troublesome that instead of just getting right to it, saving his own life, returning the cursed item to the cursed man, he takes time out of his busy day to bludgeon this vulture to death with a spade.
As you do.
When you got the time, I always look for vultures to bludgeon.
All right, so mine was Dracula. What are you up to?
Okay, so mine, this is also a deep pull. This might be as good a reference as your first guy.
Okay.
Conal Cochran.
Yeah, I've met him.
Conal Cochran is, well, maybe I wish I had.
Colin Cochran. Huh?
Conal.
Oh, all right.
Now every time I heard it, because here's the thing. In the movie he is in, he is Irish, and every time they say Conal Cochran, I think Colonel. But it's not. His name is Conal.
Okay.
Conal Cochran.
Okay.
He's the bad guy from Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Oh, okay, cool.
So with Halloween 3, Michael Myers, gonzo.
Right.
We are no longer, John Carpenter's come back. He
Nope.
says
This
it's
is a
time
completely
for an
separate
anthology,
Yeah.
which would have been whatever. I can't get into it right now. But no Michael Myers. You hear his theme song on the TV, though. Conal Cochran is this old warlock. Came over from Ireland, and he wants to kill kids. That's his deal. Conal Cochran's plan from start to finish is manufacture masks, put a chip in them that will turn kids' heads into snakes and bugs, play a commercial to activate the chip, done. Oh, also, Stonehenge is involved. For some reason, each microchip needs a little bit of
So
Stonehenge.
convoluted.
It's the but here's what I'm going to tell you.
right.
Conal Cochran is a great villain because he's unassuming, it's unexpected, and his foil is Tom something.
Thumb?
Tom something.
Baker.
Tom, he was in Night of the Creeps.
Oh, yeah. It's Tom. It's not Tom Savini, but it's Tom. Yeah.
It's not Tom
I know who you're talking
Sizemore.
about, yeah,
It's Tom.
Thrill
whatever.
Me Tom.
Yeah, Thrill Me.
yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Did not make the list.
No.
Honorable mention.
Yeah.
Night of the Creeps. Oh my God.
Yeah, I love Night of the Creeps.
I could not. I stepped into that movie like I step into almost every movie. When I stepped into Sharks of Venice and when I stepped into Night of the Creeps, it was the same. However,
Well, how long ago did you see Night of the Creeps for the first time?
it's been a while. Okay. But a long time
that
ago.
movie stuck with me for a long
Yeah,
time.
it's so good. So,
Yeah.
Night of the Creeps, Tom something. Somebody could look this up, maybe Dolly. Tom something is he's not even like the main character. He's just a dude who's completely pissed that he has to deal with brain slugs. He's the guy who's like, God damn it, fucking brain slugs. Tom Atkins.
Thank you.
Brilliant character actor.
Yeah.
Night of the Creeps, beautiful movie.
He's awesome in he's awesome in The Fog too.
Oh yeah, everything
John
Tom
Carpenter's
Atkins
The
is
Fog,
in
Yeah.
nails it.
Yeah.
But the one thing you will take away from Night of the Creeps, aside from the zombies, aside from the brain slugs, aside from Tom Atkins, aside from everything, every time we see Tom Atkins, the first time we see him, and every subsequent time he is on frame or in frame for the first time, a phone rings.
Thrill me.
And that's how he fucking answers a phone.
good.
And I would be lying if I did not tell you, doctor,
Yes.
doctor,
Dave.
that for the month after I saw Night of the Creeps, I was answering the phone with
Thrill me.
Thrill Me. Fucking awesome. But yeah, Conal,
All right.
Jesus.
All
Conal
right.
Cochran, Halloween 3, Friday 3.
My next pick is Dr. Fu Manchu.
From
Well, Dr. Fu Manchu is a famous character from pulp writing back in like the 30s, written by Sax Rohmer. However, and he's been played by several actors, including the late great Christopher Lee. However,
he's like Charlie Chan.
Kind of, but Charlie Chan is,
Same-
if I'm not mistaken, a good guy.
Right. I'm
Dr.
just
Fu
saying
Manchu-
same cultural
Yes,
appropriation.
yes. No, I mean, there's definitely a downside to this. It's definitely Yellow Peril era. However, as villains go, he is dia-fucking-bolical. And specifically, I'm talking about the Boris Karloff version of this from 1932,
Okay.
a film called The Mask of Fu Manchu.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, when your villain captures all your bad guys and puts them all into different rooms so that they can all suffer different tortures that are iconic pulp tortures, each fucking one. One's the room that's getting smaller with the spikes.
Yeah.
One's the room where the floor drops out.
Yeah.
You know, all this, that's iconography. Okay?
I not for nothing, but every time, I don't think this concept is used enough. That's what I'm going to say. This
Spikes and walls?
No. That's probably used just about enough. This concept where
Spikes and walls.
you have a wall, right, and spikes come out of it. No. The concept of a supervillain killing all the other groundling villains of the hero of whatever.
Yeah.
Because like imagine this, maybe this did happen. But I'm pretty sure I've
You
seen
need
all
to
the
see this
Bond
movie.
movies. But if we had a Bond movie where he's
Yeah.
going after, let's say Blofeld, and we spend the first 15, 20 minutes going after Blofeld, and then Blofeld is killed by a super villain level bad guy. I would love to see that. I would love to see a turn of the tables of like,
it's like you
good
thought
guy-
this was the boss.
Yeah.
Boom. New boss.
sub boss.
Yeah.
Good guy versus bad guy. You think that bad guy is Big Boss. He
No.
is Proto Man.
Right.
You need to go and find out Starman or Grassman or whoever. Big Boss.
All right. Who's next on your list?
So mine, this is a newer one. Definitely, the newest of the bunch. But to preface, Kane Hodder played Jason from 7 to 9.
Right. You meaning
And 10. And 10.
Friday the 19th, 7,
Yeah.
8, 9, and 10.
Yeah. Friday the 13th, 7th, 8, 9, Jason X, all Kane Hodder. And some would say, as I do, since he showed up in 7, that's when Jason got his character. Because in 6,
Right.
he's played by a 50-year-old stuntman.
Right.
And it looks like you're being chased by whatever.
No, Kane's the one who put in all that stuff where like the big heaving chest breathing.
Kane
shit.
brought his shit,
Yeah.
plopped it onto 7. So, that being said, there was a revival around 2012-ish, early 2010-ish for old school horror.
Yeah.
And Hatchet hit, whatever. I don't
name
even know
of the
what.
movie is
Yeah,
Hatchet?
Hatchet.
Okay.
So Hatchet is classic Louisiana Bayou crazy murder.
That sounds cool.
Hatchet is played by Kane Hodder.
Oh, nice.
Crazy, bald, freak, basically Jason, but with a hump in New Orleans.
Nolans? Yeah.
Here's the thing they did that fucked me over hardcore.
Like,
Whereas,
put you over the barrel right up the ass, or what are we
right,
talking?
yes, because I wanted to, because the whole thing was, this is a return to 80s slasher purity.
Right.
Horror.
Right.
So in those movies, maybe you'll remember a classic depiction of cannon fodder by Crispin Glover from number 4.
Right.
However,
No, the best part about that is his dance. Yeah.
let's be real.
Yeah.
However, in this new reboot, they're like, maybe the part that everybody liked was how dumb the cannon fodder was. So early in Hatchet, and you have to sit through this.
All right.
It is rough, but you get to the good stuff. The first part of the movie is cannon fodder gets onto a boat tour of the Louisiana swamp, taken by this little Asian kid who is faking a new Louisiana accent, who then later fakes an Asian accent, who then later drops everything to tell us he was born in Illinois. Whatever. They all die. It doesn't
From
matter.
Chicago, okay?
That guy who looks
Fuck
like
the
Wilford
Packers, go
Brimley.
Bears.
Who's the guy who looks like Wilford Brimley? He's a character actor. He's been in a bunch of cookie commercials.
Wilford Brimley.
Almost. Close. You're very close. He's in this and dies. But when we get to the horror, when you feel like you're about to literally fillet the barrel of a gun to just get away from this movie, the killing starts, and it's that much more cathartic because you really, by the time the Hatchet shows up, and keep in mind, Hatchet doesn't show up until we get his backstory. So it's 20 minutes of obnoxious bullshit from obnoxious assholes.
Right.
Then 5 minutes of backstory where Kane Hodder plays his own dad as Hatchet's dad. Then murder. And then it gets good. Because then you're like, yeah, make that stupid decision. Because dude fell into a fucking bear trap. It's on half of his head. But yeah, now's a good time to stop for a bucket of KFC, you fucking idiots. Hatchet.
Hey, by the way, Dolly, did you at some point make sure that, because Driftwood Dalton jumped into my lap, you have to hashtag cat in the description for this because it'll get you like 15 more hits.
Yeah. Hashtag cats of Instagram.
Yeah, cats of Instagram, totally.
We're not on Instagram, but trust me,
Yeah,
when we get
no,
there.
that's the one that works.
So Hatchet was my
Right.
number 4.
All right, I'm
what do you
on.
got, Doc?
My next is Dr. Mabuse. So
Okay.
Dr. Mabuse is a German villain, originally created by director Fritz Lang for his silent double feature of Dr. Mabuse the Gambler, but made famous especially by a early 1930s film called The Testament of Dr. Mabuse. Mabuse is a terrorist, but he's also a diabolical, possibly mind-controlling villain who can run several crime syndicates at once.
Big villains don't, whatever. I feel like every villain in every movie should be smart.
Yeah.
But I realize why you can't in some movies.
Yeah.
But I do like that concept
Right.
where
he's an uber villain.
right.
Yeah.
I like that. Because
Yeah.
like there's room for your slashers. Jason is an on-off switch. Someone flicked his switch to on and now he's a murder machine.
Right. He's just a murder machine. I like that.
But the elegance, the
Yeah.
class, the planning, that
And you
all
don't even see
is
him half the
important.
time. He's like behind a screen. He's just a silhouette. I mean, he's the guy.
The
that
Jaws
all
principle.
Right. And he's so much of what so many of those other villains are based on. It's just he is. It's like you don't even know.
Right,
like so
right.
many like villains are. I would hazard to say that even Blofeld comes from Mabuse to a certain degree. And partly because, Mabuse was still a big thing, especially in Germany in the 1960s. Like the last film that Fritz Lang even did, he went back to Germany. He did one more Mabuse film.
For those uninitiated, Mabuse feels like a voodoo witch doctor.
He does, but he's not. He's more like the guy posing as the seance director, but it turns out he's a villain turning each class of society against itself.
That's human nature. So good news, Dr. Mabuse. Your
He's
job's
fucking
over.
wild. He's wild. If nothing
Mabuse.
else, just see Testament of Dr. Mabuse. That's all you
Okay.
need to see. Yeah.
Yeah, all of these are like, because that's the thing about old world villains
Yeah.
is before gore they had to be smart.
Yeah.
Gore came along and it was like, well,
Yeah, you can
now
just
we
throw
can
smart
cut
out
a
the
dude
window,
in
right,
half
yeah.
from his dick to his chin.
But do it from the worm's eye view.
Right.
Yeah.
Worm's eye. That's something I learned as
Yeah.
a corpse. So
Who's your last one?
my last one, and you probably will get a kick out of this because this is from a series that held nothing but horror. There's no funny. There's no like, oh, isn't that interesting? This is fucking scary as shit. But the Tall Man from the Phantasm series.
Yeah, I love the
The
tall man.
Phantasm series held nothing of comedy whatsoever in it. I can find nothing ironic about it. It is just a bunch of scary ass movies where a tall, scary old man kills people with flying steel balls.
As you do.
Even as a kid, you can look at things and be like, all right, that's fake. I get it. Like the horror, yada, yada, yada. I remember the first time I saw even part
Of a Phantasm film.
of a Phantasm.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you which one it is. It took place in a mausoleum, so any of them.
Yeah, any of them. Yeah.
And just to see, because it's put to you in like, because when Freddy kills you, there's a one-liner, blah, whatever. When Jason kills you, you know what's coming, and you're sort of in that mind space where you're being hunted in the woods. But when you've got a fucking steel ball full of drills and knives and shit coming at
Well,
you,
and you don't know. I mean, compare it even to Freddy. Like the great thing about the Phantasm films is you don't know when it's dream. You don't know when it's reality. You
That's
don't know
it.
when the tall man's just gonna pop the.
there's
fuck
no
up.
cheese, there's
Yeah.
no camp, there's
Yeah.
no humor. It's just a straight up fucking scary ass movie.
Yeah.
That's why the Tall Man, unassuming to just look at him outside of a horror connotation. But when he gets his army of fucking flying steel balls,
Which you do.
holy shit. That's scary.
So I want to point out the irony of my number one tonight,
Okay.
considering it's on the TV right now.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Japanese?
Yeah, and so like somewhere between my love of King Kong and my love
Oh.
of Godzilla, I'm gonna have to go with Godzilla.
Okay.
I mean, King Kong is number one on my list of favorite films, but Godzilla, 30 fucking films in. Granted, he's not always the villain, but when
Right.
he is a villain, holy shit.
The thing about Godzilla, though, is he's one of these characters that since he's larger than life, I feel like all the bets are off. Like you would never see a movie like the Jason franchise, the Freddy franchise, the Michael Myers franchise will never get to the point where Freddy, Michael Myers, Jason is hopping up and down because he helped a small child and he's happy about
but
that.
that's just it, man. I'm talking about the horror movies. I'm talking about the ones where he's the villain. You know, I mean, yes, he became the hopping Godzilla victory dance.
He became the hopping.
He became the hopping.
Godzilla 2020, the hopping.
But that
Dolly.
being said, like, you watch Gojira 1954, you watch Shin Godzilla, you watch GMK,
You know
a
what?
few others. It's just a beast accidentally made by
Right.
man, scarred by radioactivity, and there to just destroy the world.
So Godzilla is an interesting thing because he has moved from the scourge of humanity to the bastion of humanity's salvation.
Yes.
So I don't know. All your big kaijus I kind of count in a gray area.
Yeah. But
because
still.
not a single one of them, aside from like whatever, your Bagheeras, your King Ghidorahs, unless you're like earmarked as a bad guy.
Right.
Because even King Kong, let's
Yeah.
talk. Let's cut from obviously the 30s King Kong, the classic one. Let's say the 80s one
Yeah.
with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange, who is smoking hot. Holy shit.
Actually, I think it's like 78.
78, yeah, something like that. But you want to see a young Dave get a boner? Woof.
That's not anything I want to see, Dave. No.
Whoa. Well, I've got some photos I can show you
No,
in case you change your
no,
mind.
I'm good. I'm
But
gonna-
back in the
More
day,
wine.
that 80s Kong, when he gets her hopped up on those drugs and
Yeah.
he starts blowing on her,
Yeah.
hello,
Yeah.
that turns from horror to horny. Horny child. I was watching that as a child and being very... But then here's the thing. When you're a kid, it's hard to compartmentalize because you see Jessica Lange smoking hot as ever.
I still got a thing for Fay Ray, though. But yeah, go ahead.
Fay Ray's hot, but my first King Kong experience was the 78 one.
70s,
Which, yeah.
I think
where
mine was too, actually. But yeah.
I feel like if you weren't born in the 30s or 40s, your first one was
The 70s one.
the 70s one.
Yeah.
But it's fine because I feel like personally, the 70s one was a acceptable update.
Yeah.
They did not have to move anything. It's the same story. Big Ape comes to New York, shit gets fucked, yada yada yada. However, Jessica Lange is the X factor. Plus, I kind of like Jeff Bridges. Is it Jeff?
Yeah. It's Jeff.
Yeah. This is before his like country, like I'm country strong. Like
Yeah, but I mean,
the thing he's putting on today.
Lightfoot and so,
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
So I'm saying that movie, while not scary, is tense and also horny. Dolly Dread.
Dolly Dread, ladies and gentlemen.
Dolly Dreadful. Dreadful? I forget. Judge Dolly Dreadful. So yeah, Tall
All right.
Man.
There you go. That's it.
Card Gonzo. Oh,
I'm gonna be cleaning that shit up for a year. Oh, here's another card. Do I get to read something?
yeah. So
All right.
here, if you want to.
Hey, Dave.
Whoa, what?
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Who did the vampire take to the dance?
Okay, I've read all of these and should know this. His. Okay, hold on. Say it again.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah,
Dave.
that part I
Hey,
got.
Dave.
That
Dave.
part.
Oh,
I got,
okay.
yeah. I know who I am.
Who did the vampire take to the dance?
His blood brother?
He took his ghoul friend.
Joe! What about blood? What else you got,
all right. I
Doc?
got one more for you. I got one more for you, Dave. Hey,
This is a
Dave.
good one, yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you know this, but Dave. Hey, Dave.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
yeah, uh-huh.
Hey, since so many people try to start Christmas early.
What? You know what we were talking about earlier,
We
Doc?
were talking about this earlier. Hey, Dave. Dave.
Christmas.
I know. Since so many people try to start Christmas early,
Yeah,
there's
what
a new
about it?
push to extend Halloween past October 31st.
What are they calling it?
We're taking it all the way to Thanksgiving. That's our show, folks.
That is why I kept that one for the last card. Guys, how long has it been?
I think that was 2.5.
Full disclosure, I've kept all the times you've seen me look at my watch,
It's the drinking. I think that's a.
I don't know what time it is. Yeah. So we got our cards. We got Shroom. Now it's time for some freestyle. What else? What else? What else about Halloween have we not talked about that should be on this episode, this special? Typing Square. While Dr. Demento here gets fresh with Trung's poor skeleton. Is there something about Halloween we have missed? Like we've covered the Garfield Halloween special, right? We've covered most of your villains. He needs some flaws. That's fucked. Here's the thing. So, Trung is probably a victim of this, but back in the old days, let's say you wanted to commit a murder in 1880. What? Oh, here. Okay, here. You said trivia. Here's trivia. Dr. Dreamscape. You and Trung here can answer this question. So, in 1880, to the layperson, the best way to get away with a crime was
in 1880.
In 1880,
Yeah.
Best way, the easiest way to get away in people's minds. This obviously didn't happen. Easiest way to get away with a crime is allow a lot of people to see you commit the crime.
Yeah.
Take out multiple insurance. What are they called? Policies of the person you're about to kill.
Right.
Throw a blanket over the person you just killed, hoping everything will turn out okay.
Just move the body. That's the first rule.
3 or 4, our fourth one. Go home, forget about everything, and just hope that since it's the 1800s, no one will give a fuck. What, Dr. Trung, Mr. Dr. Dreamscape, what do you think most people did back in the old days to cover up a crime? It's not going to be what you think it is.
It's all right. It's all right. Okay. So,
classic.
Put the body in the river. I don't know.
No. Most often. So here's the thing. There's a show. I'm going to give them a shout out. There's a show on YouTube called Briefcase. Briefcase. And basically it's turn of the century crimes.
Okay.
And 100% of the people who committed crimes before science was invented thought that after you murdered someone, if you put a piece of clothing over their face,
everything was okay.
You were great. I watched. So in one murder, this was, I think, late 1800s, early 1900s.
I'm sorry, is that uncomfortable? Am I holding it in the wrong place? I'm sorry.
You gotta watch this pubic bone. In this one murder. Now I forgot where I was going. I'll tell you about the other murder that I actually remember.
All right, just put the cloth over.
So there's this
Everything's
woman.
Fine.
Yeah, there's this woman. She's got a kid. She gave her kid to someone else to raise, but here's the thing about the old-timey times, people still like to fuck. So she was a mistress, and she's like, this kid's going to get my shit fucked, and I want to fuck a dude who's got lots of money so that I can have money and fuck a dude without a kid. So she says, I'm a genius. It's 1890. I'll go to the train. Here's the story she gave. She says, oh, my son has been accepted into this school somewhere else. He's got to take a train. So the lady who was raising him says, oh, that sucks. Bye, kid. I miss you. The mom goes to the train station in front of a fuck ton of people. Then she kills the kid in the bathroom. People see her go into the bathroom with the kid. They see her come out without the kid. Later, the kid is found under a blanket in the bathroom.
Who could have done this? It's under a blanket.
Here's how
that stops everything.
Here's how the crime is broken. Because you know how when one thing leads to another, and it's this cascade of like Ocean's 11 style crime. So here was the crux of the crime. So before a train was about to leave the station, 2 old bitches show up. One old bitch got to take a piss. Guess where she's going to do it?
On the cloth?
The bathroom.
Oh, right.
Guess where that bitch killed her kid?
In the bathroom.
Yes. So guess how The crime was solved. After they found the body of the kid who died, they asked people on the train station, hey, you see who came in here with this kid? And they say, yeah.
It was that girl right there.
Case closed.
Wow.
Here's another one. A dude in the old-timey times wanted to kill a man because he wanted, basically, the oldest story ever told. Dude wants money. He says, hey, give me money to buy this farm. And the dude says, okay, show me the farm and you can have the money. He says, okay, get in this car.
Is all this leading up to a bought the farm joke? Because
He didn't buy the farm.
Okay.
In one way. So they go out the farm.
right.
The man hands the money to the man who he's buying the farm from.
Okay.
Who then murders him in an alley.
Holy shit.
And here's the part that is so crazy it almost worked. He killed this man. He left his body there, face intact, unfucked with. Faces are pretty easy to recognize.
It's a thing.
But he almost got away with the crime. Here's trivia. This man almost killed another man for less than $200 and got away with it how?
Put cloth over his face.
By putting cloth over his face.
I'm paying attention.
By taking his hat and throwing it in the river.
Whoa.
By
That's a
removing
step up.
the tags in his clothing. Or by pinning a note to his jacket saying, I wasn't murdered, I killed myself. Now, one of those things
All of the above.
almost got him away with the crime. You think it's all of the above? No.
Yeah.
He took all the tags out of the dude's clothes, and the police could not figure out who this dude was. He took, literally, like if you murdered me and took this.
Well, shit, his wallet's gone, so I guess we'll never know who he was.
He took his wallet, took the tags from his clothes, and said, there's no way anyone will know who this motherfucker is. Keeping in mind, he killed him in the city he lived in, near where he lived. That's like if I took you outside right now and I walked you over to your neighbor's house and I stabbed you a whole bunch in the gut. And I took your jacket off and I put it on. And I was like, perfect crime. And then when the police show up, they say, hey, did you kill this guy? I was like, no. I was wearing this jacket.
How's he not covered in blood? All right.
I was, well, yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. But here, it may be covered in blood, but I took the tags off. That's, what do you call it when people go free without being, it's just an unsolved crime, right? There's got to be a word for that.
Well, there's a difference between like
I would
I
be,
think it's similar to when it's called getting off, Dave.
I always get off. Here's the thing. I would be like, this is going to be a modern reference for you young kids, and I'm an old ghoul. But are you familiar with Jodi Arias?
Yeah.
100% killed her kid and got off scot-free. That's this guy. I committed so many murders. And then when people ask me, hey, were you involved in this murder? I said, no, but I've been spending a month with a private detective trying to figure it out. Don't worry about it. Let's talk about Jodi Arias real quick, because this bitch I fucking hate.
I don't know enough about Jodi Arias to be in on this.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to tell you what happened. Jodi Arias had a kid. She killed the kid. And then a month later when her mom's like, hey, where's your kid? She goes, oh, he's fine. Don't worry about it. So the mom goes, are you sure? Because I haven't seen the kid in a month. She goes, yeah. So the mom goes, I don't believe you. I'm going to call the police. She calls the police. The police say, hey, where's your kid? Jodi Arias says, I didn't want to tell you this, but a Hispanic maid stole him, and I've been on his trail for the past 32 days. Why didn't I call the police, you ask? Oh, that's a good question. I'm a really good detective. And she was got. She spent no time in jail. She killed her kid. There was no Hispanic maid. She killed her kid. She went to trial. She was obviously guilty. She killed her kid and got the fuck off. God bless America. God bless you,
And where's
America.
Jodi Arias now?
Subway? Here's the thing. That's my question.
Working with Octomom.
This is my question. when you are a Jodi Arias or one of these murderers who, like an O.J. Simpson, let's say you're O.J. Simpson. You killed Nicole Brown Simpson, allegedly. I don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
Jodi Arias, alleged murderer. Although, in my
Wrongful death
opinion,
suit.
whatever. Allegedly, Jodi Arias is a cunt murderer. Allegedly, Orenthal James Brown Simpson killed 2 people as well. However, despite the evidence, they got to skate. So my question is, OJ, whatever. He's a celebrity. He gets to go, money.
Yeah.
What is Jodi Arias going to do? Is she going to be like, yeah, I killed my kid, allegedly, but I am, proven, whatever, not convicted. She's not guilty. She was found not guilty.
Right.
So let's say you work at a Costco. Your name is Gary.
I'm Gary at Costco. Hi.
Here's you. I'm Gary at Costco. You said, application. That's a familiar name. Arias. Clickety, click. Ah! How is that bitch? Number one, like, obviously there's going to be some low-life scum fuck out there who's going to be like, you want to write a book about how you killed your fucking kid and then we can't do anything about it? Now the double jeopardy is attached, allegedly. And it fucking... Listen, I realize this is devolving into just me being angry at things, but Jodi Arias is one of the things that I am fucking angry at. Like, who? I want to meet every fucking person on that jury and be like, so, you, a human being, a multicellular, free-thinking, critically minded human being, heard the story. Not only
did it. No.
Forget the OJ thing. You heard the story about how your child was abducted by a woman who doesn't exist. You spent 30 days looking for the child you killed, stolen by the maid who doesn't exist. Then when you get caught, you tell them, I'm on the case. Don't worry about it. Cops, take a breather. Because that's what they do. Every time there's a crime, I always tell the cops when they show up, I got this.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. I was at a burglary the other day.
Yeah.
So I'm at, sitting in line my mortuary. Dude comes in, there's a burglary. And dude wants to call the cops. And he's like, should I? And I'm like behind the guy, obviously, with the gun. He's like, give me your money. I'm like, I got this. Moral of the story is he was robbed. I did nothing because I have no power. I don't know where I was going with that story.
I was going to ask. Oh, shit.
Listen, we're getting rowdy.
All right.
So, guys,
I've got something for you as we wrap up the show that we should do here.
Oh God, the light. Hold on.
But he's up here. He's up here. So you don't even need him. And now you have to tell spells.
Would you like to see my card trick again?
No.
Oh no, it was good.
I think as we wind up here, you need to see the coolest thing in the world, which is the dot of forever.
Can I turn my head in this room and see the dot of forever?
Yeah, the dot of forever will be right here on the TV. Ready?
Okay.
Ready?
Oh, I know this.
There it goes.
No, that'll say that it's forever. Dolly.
It's there. It's there. All right. Well, maybe it's not forever, but it lasts for a while.
It's got a very long half-life. But no, that's people are watching and they're like, now it's sad and tired and boring.
It's over, man.
We're gonna go on like this?
Go home.
With a broke dick dead TV? Fine. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming to the FFOP Halloween special. It's been our first. It's been our best.
Inaugural.
It's also been our worst. By virtue, but I don't like to say that. So,
no, there was nothing virtuous about this.
If this were reality, it would be considered virtual. This is... I've hit... full disclosure, originally I wanted to do like a whole episode as like a scary voice, and I was like, "There's no fucking way."
I was
Especially now, I'm knocking shit over.
Thing, and I'm like, "Oh, are we going to do it like this the whole time?"
There's cards everywhere. It's a disaster here. This haunted house
is really starting to look like a haunted house.
Yeah, it's a real shithole.
I don't know if electronics fit into this whole scenario, but
not for nothing, but cobwebs, a little gauche. Anywho, guys, thanks for showing up to the first annual FFOP Halloween special. If you stayed here the whole time, God bless you. You have the constitution of an iron rhinoceros.
So that's me.
Everybody on the show counts. So let's we'll do plugs. You want to
All right.
plug
Yeah,
something,
please.
Doctor?
Yeah.
The proctology
Do I get to
practice?
plug Warbirds of Mars?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. So among other things, go to vaughnmedia.com or
Full disclosure, we're not dead.
Yeah.
He's a real guy.
Vaughn-media.com or warbirdsofmars.com. That's my
Maybe
diesel punk comic book and prose
Yeah.
anthology series.
if you're familiar with the show, you know.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
If
this
you've
guy's
never heard
not
of me
dead.
before, it's
Yeah.
like you haven't been. You're obviously not a fan.
Dr. Dreamscape Vaughn over here. Warbirds of Mars. Yeah, and sure, if you're a fan of streaming digital media, you could probably pick up those old timey radio programs we did, right? Somewhere
Oh yeah.
on the old site.
They're on warbirdsofmars.com. You can listen to our
Warbirdsofmars?
old timey radio shows.
Yeah. So guys, we've got so much media coming up.
Just an old fashioned love song, Dave.
If this show, that's a nice reference, but if this show, if the internet,
Playing on the
how
radio.
how do I? Here's. Well, it's not gonna be able to pick up on the mic, so let's all sit here quietly, see if we can hear it.
No.
Negative. Anyway, I don't know how I'm going to try and pull this metaphor together because one thing I do well is metaphors. So, in that sense, maybe the internet is the hose, and our show is the water, and your butthole is like the content. Where, we've got so much.
So you're saying we're
you
the
hook up to
enema
that hose, yeah.
We're the enema of radio.
Maybe we're the 2-person human centipede. I would love to pull this all together and make it all make sense, but this is my third drink, everybody.
It is.
It's late.
Daddy
it's
hasn't
Halloween. It's
started
scary.
yet, but-
There's been a ghost tickling my butt from behind this chair the whole time.
Piles.
Casper
It's just called
situation. Piles. I can't believe there was a time when John Merrick was our pull reference, and they say, "Oh, John Merrick, the Elephant Man." How austere, how educated these people are. We've said piles 40 times during this episode. Not so austere.
No. Not everything about Victoriana was amazing. Let's face it.
Yeah, because let's be real. How did you live in an era where the tablecloths had to be ankle length so you didn't get a boner, but then when you got diarrhea, how did you tell somebody? It's super
Doctor, I'm
super formal.
having things
Right.
happen.
Medical conditions existed, so when we
I'm
were
sorry. I will give you cocaine.
when we were all too polite to say anything, did a housewife show up in her 19 layers? She says, "I've got some titterings in my butthole," and he goes, "Oh, okay. Here's a
You're
gallon.
obviously pregnant. Here,
Yeah.
have some cocaine.
Here's a gallon of Coke juice, and if you feel like it, if you're up to it later, here's some highly concentrated cannabinoids." Oh, your stomach hurts?
Try electric shock.
No, well, I mean, if you don't got the money for electric shock, there's always candy-coated arsenic.
That's true.
Also, if you want to kill someone in the 1900s,
You put a cloth over their
early
face.
no, that's after you kill them. After you kill them, you throw the cloth. You want to kill them? Arsenic's in literally everything. Here's the thing.
How about old lace?
It's next to old lace.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
But here's the thing that I don't... obviously, we said we were wrapping up, but I have a quick story. So back in the old days...
Taking your cards.
Back in the old days...
I'm taking your drink.
Want to see a card trick, guys? Back in the old days, arsenic was in literally fucking everything. It was in rat poison. It was in medicine, yada, yada, yada. So when all these people...
Is this your card?
Might be.
Is this your card?
Here's my question. Arsenic's in everything. Why, if you're going to kill someone, why go buy arsenic, which is easily traceable? Because they would not write your name down.
No.
If you bought rat poison, they did not write you down because you were buying it to kill rats. If you went into a chemist and you said, "I would like some arsenic," there was a 98% chance that your lover, mistress, meister, is there a mistress for a man?
Yeah.
They were going to go dead. Arsenic every time. Anyway, I'm going to plug this. Check out our merch store. The hashtag, maybe it's not a hashtag, but the Be Like Popeye merch, all the money from those scary sales go to benefit the homeless animals rescue team here in Arizona. However, if you just wanted to buy some Flamingo Friday shit, that cheddar goes in this dude's pocket.
So go to FFOP, excuse me, Fistful of
Teespring.
Podcasts.
Well, so yeah, no, don't go to fistfulpodcast.com. That is a Chinese porn site now. What you want to do is go to FFOP Radio, teespring.com/:/FFOP/radio:. I don't know. It's all like, guys, there's links in the fucking description below. You know what we're fucking talking. Whatever. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
It's Halloween for another couple of hours.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us once again. Kayla, obviously, you've been keeping the typing square on lock. I want to thank my guest, obviously,
Hey,
Dr.
thanks,
Dreamscape.
Dave.
I want to thank Trung for sending us his bones. Dolly Dreadful, Morticia Adams, who made some cameo appearances with the drinks. So, guys, this has been one hell of a show. And it's Halloween, like the Crypt Keeper said 3 or 4 hours ago. So, full disclosure, doctor, maybe you can help me out with this. I've got a problem.
Yeah.
First of all, my butt itches.
Piles.
I have medical butt itch. Preparation H is what I use. But, okay, so after the butt itch, what was I? Oh, yeah, I don't know how to end these shows.
Yeah.
I do not have an outline. I don't have a tagline.
Well,
I
we threw all the
basically,
cards on the ground.
I threw all the cards on the ground. He's taken my card, so I have no longer access to the jacks. So, guys, whatever. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on the next episode of whatever the fuck this is. And maybe it'll be a holiday or maybe it won't. Bye. Wave to the camera. Bye. Claps. Piles.
Piles.
Piles.